Good evening, everybody. Everybody. I can talk. What's up? How's everybody doing tonight? Notorious, how you doing? Flip, welcome. Crimson, thank you everybody for being here. All the hosts as we're getting started. I'm not used to looking over this way for chat and here for the. It's something I have to do for the web show. Misty, Sonofa, BLG, Twist. Thank you all guys so much for the hosts. We're trying to get. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do the co-stream. For Jojo and that. If not, we'll kind of do it a little bit. I might have her send me one, but it is Wednesday, so that does mean Kdog After Dark. She's just starting up as well, run a little late. But yeah, we'll go over that here shortly. Misty, happy to see you. So let me get her in here without further ado, and we can kind of get the ball rolling a little bit. Of course, like I said, you guys know Wednesday nights, Kdog After the Dark talk show. I'm gonna go ahead and switch it over so that way we can go ahead and get right into it. Where's my button? There's my button. All right. There we go. I have you up. You are live. Wait.
Hello.
Wait. There we go. Hi.
Everything seems.
So,
Ooh.
were you able to accept the invite or no?
No, I still don't have one. Like, it won't even show up.
Do you want to try sending me one and see? The only thing is, like, the live sidebar would be backwards, but, you know, we could just do, like, grid or something. If you want.
Yeah, if you want, yeah.
And it's just, like, merged. Because, I mean, you have your camera decently, so it's not, like... I don't think...
I can put it live sidebar and just put yours as the main.
Okay. Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could change who is the main. So, yeah. I've only ever been the one that sends out the invites, so I don't know. Yay, learning new things.
Right.
And see, maybe just you're just not getting them.
Did you get it?
We're gonna wait and see a second. So far, nothing.
If not, I think we just have to chalk it up to Mixer's recent tech issues.
Yes, which have been
very
lovely, lovely, for sure. Yeah, with them fixing a whole bunch of things. Let's see. We're trying. Go live notifications not going out today. Well, I never trust the go live notifications from Mixer. They never work for me. That's why I pay the $5 a month, so that way you guys can get texts if you want. All you have to do is put in your number. I say it every day.
I'm sad that costs money now because it used to be
I know
free.
it used to be free.
Like, I understand why, but like, I'm not gonna pay $5 for that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
if they made it like $1 or $2, like maybe, but it's literally not worth $5.
Yeah. Yeah, I might get rid of it. I don't know. We'll see like how many people are doing it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not. Oh, I just did that. Yeah, I'm not getting thing invite to co-stream. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's even gonna work.
Yeah, and then live whatchamacallit, live hosting. I don't even know how that really works. Because then it wouldn't merge chats.
I can just go offline and host you. That way all the chat is at least in one place.
Yeah. We can do that, yeah, because then, yeah, that's the main thing is, like, so that way everybody... Because we're going to be talking to chat a lot tonight.
It doesn't make sense for me to be live at all unless it's in a co-stream. So if the co-stream won't work, then...
Yeah. I just sent out another one just in case, but yeah, if it's... whatever, so... Yeah, that works.
We've been trying this for like 15 minutes and it hasn't worked. So.
Part of the reason we're a little late tonight, we were hoping that Mixer would figure it out, but... Yeah, no, yeah, we've been working on it for 15-20 minutes while I was putting on my face. We were sending out co-stream invites, you know. So I gotta look pretty.
Okay.
All right.
I'll shut this down on this end and host you.
Okay, that sounds good then. And we could actually officially, you know, get this going. You know, pretend like this is an actual show. This is an interesting show either way. So, once JoJo's done on her end. Oh, hey, I should probably change that audio really quick before this does that. All right. So she's coming over. Hi, everybody. Welcome.
Hi.
All right. All right. Now that we're working with how best it is, we're gonna move right along like this is an actual show. A little bit different this week, of course, because we only have the two of us. So like I kind of put out in the Discord and all that on my Discord, and that, of course, Drama Queen was supposed to be with us this evening, but she had a medical emergency, and she was really looking forward to it. We'll have her back on the show again later. So down the road a little bit. So she was really looking forward to, so that's unfortunate. But it's just going to be me and JoJo and you guys as the special third guest star this evening, I guess. You guys are going to be my co-host because a lot of you guys are here every week. So we're going to be probably interacting with you guys a little bit more than we normally would. You guys that are familiar with the show, of course. Normally there's 3 of us, so we're talking a lot. This is going to be your guys' week to really kind of, you know, actually include yourself in the show. Obviously, we do respond, but a little bit more so than would be normal. But also, I don't think JoJo ever got her official, like, own show. So now she gets, like, the one-on-one official treatment. Yeah, you kind of just got, like, you know, we were doing, like, we were testing out, like, all the potential co-hosts. Because, like, you and Undercard, I think you were, I feel like you were only on one before. I can't remember.
No, I was on 2
you were
weeks in a row.
Okay, so it was 2 weeks in a row. I can't remember who you were
It was 2
with.
weeks in a row.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and then, like, Undercard after. Yeah, I can't, so it was, I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look. Oh yeah, because you were on with Undercard and then you were on with Pop, I think. It was the week after with Pop.
Yeah, Pop and
yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
So, but you've never had your own actual show, so she is the guest star. You know, she gets to have her own special, you know, show dedicated to her this evening. The private, you know, one-on-one treatment. Besides when K-Cat randomly decides to run across the desk and make her appearance known like she always does. But of course, a couple changes since she's been on here before. You guys know JoJo, but for anybody in my stream that for whatever silly, dumb reason doesn't know JoJo, of course, does a lot of Animal Crossing, a lot of I keep wanting to say D&D. I've been doing this the last couple weeks, even when like Diva was on the show. I keep calling it D&D, DBD. Acronyms, not D&D. But I mean a lot of like you guys definitely I can't do my co-stream thing because we're not co-streaming. All right, hold on. I'm gonna set something up manually here really quick, so that way I could just like keep shouting out the whole time.
I hate that it's broken.
Yeah, I know it's weird because I have like all this stuff set up, guys, to really you know, make this work efficiently. And then when stuff doesn't, because, you know, technology, you know, all that. But we work with what we got. So, yeah. So, of course, if you're not, but JoJo, what am I missing? What am I missing? So, gaming-wise, life-wise, loving mother has her,
yeah,
she plays she plays her ukulele on stream all the time. The kids come in and, you know, she puts makeup on them during subathons. I saw that. The lights are like being wonky.
Yeah, they just like turned off.
There's a ghost.
They won't come back on. Well, I tried to turn them off because they were stuck on yellow.
That is kind of an awkward color. That doesn't fit your theme like really at all.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there we go. Red, hey!
Yay! I was like, why did it get dark all of a sudden?
Yep. I don't know. Give me your little spiel. You know, like your little thing for those 2 people in here that don't know you for whatever reason.
I don't know.
What didn't I cover?
I'm loud and stupid.
Has probably the most notorious / awesome tattoo on Mixer that everybody recognizes. You can't see it right now though.
It's not visible right now.
It's a secret. Yes, notorious, exactly. I was talking about you. But yeah, you know, everybody recognizes her for the Zelda tattoo, I feel like.
Probably. Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah. I don't know.
Do you like country music?
I don't know. Of course, like I said, she's been on the show a couple times, so it's one of those, like, she never got her own show, but like you say, good friend of stream. Same thing I ran into last week with Silent. It's hard for me to, when I know somebody so well, of course, and we've told a couple stories already, and like, you know, when you talk to somebody, it's hard for me to like keep saying more stuff because I know so much. It's like, okay, what do I say for people that don't know JoJo? Because I know JoJo. I talk to JoJo all the time. we're up at like 8 o'clock in the morning and texting each other because we both can't sleep. And randomly, it's like, oh hey,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, what's sleep?
Yep, pretty much.
Yes, it's pre-recorded, 110%. I just timed that out perfectly. Magic. I can't wait to get the actual transitions and all that kind of stuff set up. But yeah, like I said, guys, a little bit different this week since we are just running with 2. But for those of you guys that have not been to the show before, pretty much this is a weekly web show that we do here on the channel, hosted by myself. Jojo is one of the co-hosts that I have on here a lot. Always a special guest every week. Kind of go through the weekly things that happen in the news, game updates, things like that. We got a lot of news stuff this week. Jojo personally is really excited about the game updates to Apex and Valorant because she plays those all the time.
Super.
She's gonna be the one reading out all the patch notes for those. She's gonna be like, I don't know what this means at all. No, but a lot of actually interesting stuff this week that happened news-wise. So it's a decent week for news. You know, I feel like we always joke that it goes back and forth every week. It's like 1 week is news, 1 week is gaming. 1 week is news, 1 week is gaming. So, and normally I always say during the show, if we don't cover anything, tonight will be a little bit different. But if we do miss something in chat, guys, you guys are going to be a little more active. But if we do miss something, I do have a section in Discord to ask questions related to the show. Links right there if we miss anything. And then at the end of the web show as well, we kind of go back and answer any Q&As that have popped up there. And then also you'll see links for stuff in the show there as we're going through as well. That being said, we're going to go ahead and get right into it a little bit. I actually have to restart my notes because I'm at like the end of them. This is how professional I am. I have my own little like notepad in that now.
I'm already ready. Look at this. Look at this host fumble right here.
Look here. Sassy
okay.
McSassy.
I definitely showed up in the Discord call with my camera on with nothing on my face and was like, hey, I'm going to run back to this mirror and get ready.
I'm going to go do this. Yeah, I'm going to go do this. All right. Biggest probably news this week, especially that relates to us. Like last week, you know, Microsoft is kind of our boss. So, you know, it always is good to talk, you know, about them because hi, Microsoft. Feature my show. Anyways, of course, they started the Inside Xbox 2020 events like we talked about that are going to be a monthly event leading up to the launch of the Series X. We'll see if they continue after that. Of course, I have a feeling depending on how well they do, they might because Nintendo does their Nintendo Direct. It's kind of our version of that, and I think it's a good idea for the platform. But this one was pretty much a lot of looks at different games that are coming out to the Series X. A lot of things that are going to be updated for it. I have a couple videos that we can watch and pull up, but I'm just going to go through the list of the games that are optimized right now that they are talking about, that they kind of covered a little bit in this initial show. Halo wasn't covered, but I did mention last week that is going to have its own special show in July, so that's why. But the couple games they did go over and show gameplay, footage, or trailers for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Bright Memory Infinite, Call of the Sea, Chorus, Dirt 5, Madden 21, NFL 21, Scarlet Nexus, Scorn, Second Extinction, The Ascent, The Medium, Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines 2, excited for that, and Yakuza Like a Dragon. That being said, even before we get into like some of the videos and all that, I personally am kind of excited from this show just for the simple fact of there's a lot of games that aren't just like Madden NFL 21. They're not coming out saying, hey, these are our launch things, you know.
I do like that Assassin's Creed is in there because although I've never played Assassin's Creed myself, I think Assassin's Creed is very aesthetically appealing. So to have that in 4K 120 is
that's definitely going to be a huge one when it launches. It'll be up to you guys if you want to watch the video for that one, but I think a lot of people have seen, because it's the Valhalla, a lot of people have seen the news about it. We've talked about it a lot, so I wasn't going to go over it, but we can always do that at the end. But a lot of these other games are, I think, games that, you know, could be really great games that are different rather than, like I said, launching with like a COD or something like that. It's nice to see that, you know, along with, and we still have Halo, we still have but a lot of these are games that are going to be there at launch, ready to go in 4K. It really brings a lot of diversity rather than just like, you know, days of old where it's like, hey, there's like 4 games kind of at launch, and that's kind of like it, you know, and not much else. But
I want Fusion Frenzy in 4K.
Dude, I would kill to have Fusion Frenzy back again. That was a launch game for Xbox way back in the day.
I own it on my Xbox One because it came backwards compatible, and I was like, oh, that's an easy $10 purchase.
I had Fusion Frenzy 1 and 2. Fusion Frenzy 2 wasn't as good though. I liked Fusion Frenzy 1.
The one that I have is 1. Yeah. One's definitely better.
One's definitely better. But a little bit, and I'll let you guys decide if you want to see the videos for them. I'm not gonna, like I said, watch every video because then we'll be here all night. Link is in the Discord there's a compiled list of all of them with all the videos. They're all about 2 to 3 minutes each. Like I said, I'm not gonna do my own Xbox 2020 show. But if we want, we can talk about them or watch like 1 or 2 of them. I'll let you guys decide. But a little more information, obviously, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, we've talked about that. We know that's Assassin's Creed Vikings, simply put. Moving right along.
I'm really excited about that.
I know. I am too. 110%.
Vikings are amazing no matter what you put them in. They just really are.
Hence why, you know, me being on the...
I'm loving the Viking caveman look you've got going on, especially the purple.
It's the balance of the red Viking beard with the purple hair really makes it...
If Vikings could be modern, that's what they would look like.
Yeah. Actually, you know, they would have that
purple
more undercut.
Is like color of royalty.
Yeah,
so.
It's like, you know, the undercut, you know, would actually probably be more prominent, just the long hair and the hardcore undercut.
Oh, yeah. I could imagine like an undercut with like a big, thick braid over it.
Yep, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, just all this braided up top purple or whatever, and then like an undercut. Yeah, that's modern day Viking right there, and this beard going on. That would also be longer and braided, but I won't have time to grow that out. I'm assuming I'm going to be back to work before I have that potential. I really hope I'm going to be back to work before.
That you're not.
I hope so too, because I mean it grows quick, but I really hope I'm back to work before I get like, you know, that kind of beard. Yeah, exactly. Business suit. Yeah, exactly. Carrying like a Viking axe, you know, a little pendant of a raven.
Vikings.
We should do that, a modern Viking show. Anyways, first one, I'm just going to go down the list here. They're kind of in alphabetical order. So Bright Memory Infinite is going to be a new first-person sci-fi shooter that also sees players wield a sword and fight fantasy monsters. It's developed by a single developer. It makes up the entirety of his studio. So one person is designing this game. And actually, it looks pretty cool for being one person.
I was watching that trailer. Yeah. Earlier, all the kids were playing outside. I was just like,
yeah.
There's like so much packed into that trailer that I couldn't play it on mobile YouTube. I was like, okay.
There's a lot to it.
It looks really amazing. I was confused if it was like Call of Duty-ish, but then it's like sci-fi-ish, and I was just like, this looks really awesome.
I can load this one up so that way you guys know what we're talking about a little bit. Like I said, I mean, we kind of got time, so I don't mind going through them, but here, let me...
I'll pick a couple of our faves.
Yeah, exactly. So, and this was only 1:40, so it's not too bad.
It looks so crisp.
Sumo slam.
It looks so good in 4K.
Yeah, like I mean, this in 4K is gonna be legit. Yeah, it kind of. Yeah. And I can't really wait. I mean, yeah, you got fucking guns, giant hammer, like the sword, like.
And then this car comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. It's a Batmobile. It has the little... Yeah, it's that Batmobile thing where it can just track you and goes right to where you are.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game looks really cool.
So yeah, we'll see how it actually, plays. But as it is right now, especially like in 4K on there, that looks like it's gonna be really cool. Even if I hope they release it onto PC as well, because I don't know if I'm gonna be getting the console when it comes out, just because so many things are going to be on PC for that. A lot of things on this next generation we've talked about, so we'll see. But even if I can get that in 1440 running at 160 frames per second, I will be perfectly happy, with that. And it does look really, really fucking cool. Has elements almost like Titanfall-ish, like Notorious said, with like the wall running. Like it's all over, and it's fucking cool looking. Next one, Call of the Sea. It's a first-person adventure puzzle game set in the 1930s. I like flash back to like Carmen Sandiego, almost like with the idea in my head.
Yeah.
It says here in the description, think serious Firewatch vibes here with even more impressive looking scenery. If you guys didn't play, Firewatch was a game set in the Pacific Northwest, if I recall correctly. I'm vaguely remembering, but it was kind of another puzzle thing. Like I think like Bigfoot was around. Like there was like I remember it being a thing, but it's still like that kind of adventure puzzle game. Like you're there, you're exploring around you. I think like Firewatch is more recent. I remember playing a demo for it, so that's why I can't say I can't remember like the game itself. But I always like attribute whenever you say like adventure puzzle games, like I throw it back to Myst. Like I can't go like I go old school with it. It's a little bit different in my mind. But so if you like adventure puzzle games, that's gonna come out, and once again 4K.
It reminds me of those little. Have you seen those little those Tomb Raider like top-down games?
Mm-hmm. I have not.
It's kind of like that. That's what the art style. That's what it reminds me of.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I like the art style. To me, it was like it's very. Here, I'll show you guys at least the graphic here. The graphic here for it is, here we'll just let another like minute, but it's like
Shadow of
go
the
away.
Raider. Wait, no.
It's it has like the decent graphics, but it definitely has it's imaged. I don't want to say. It's not cell shaded, but it has an art style, and I'm having a hard time placing it. Like, and I know what I'm trying to think in my head, and I'll probably think of it like 3 days from now. Be like, that's what it reminds me of. But not cartoony, but definitely like you guys almost like kind of like almost like Bastion art style, almost a little bit.
What I'm thinking of wasn't a Tomb Raider game. It was called Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris. There's a little like Tomb Raider spinoff that was just about Lara Croft, and it was like the exact same art style, and it was like a top-down view, and it was an adventure puzzle game. So that's what that reminds me of when I see.
Yeah. Next one, Chorus. I'll just keep this page up so that way we can talk, and if we want to play a video off of it, we can. Single-player space combat shooter. Fancy particle effects, high-flying shooting. This one's going to be 2021, not going to be at launch. But another cool one, space battles and all this kind of stuff. I think this one was... I think I remember seeing something about this one. That's cool, Keatle. I think I remember seeing something about this one at South, like talking to somebody about it, but I don't remember seeing actual footage. So this one, we'll see how it comes out. I like space combat and flying around and all that kind of stuff. So this kind of stuff, we'll see as it gets closer how much I enjoy. And also, guys, if you want some Crocs, we're advertising those here on the right. Like I said, this link is here in the Discord and all that as well. It's just easier as we're talking about them, so that way I don't have to keep transitioning back and forth. Madden, of course, Dirt 5. We know those brands. The next ones are going to be on the new Xbox, Scarlet Nexus, though. Anime games. Huge anime fan, of course. So this one, anything that's anime or anime-like, I enjoy. So there's anime games. Step in the shoes of this guy. Whatever, but he's a psychokinetic warrior who can fling things around with his mind, and a techno-futuristic city. Like this one's a 2-minute, but
cool.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's snazzy. Has that anime style. psychokinetic goodness. Like they said.
Wow. Those are awesome. Those are flower demons.
Yeah. It's anime versions of Last of Us monsters. They gotta have a corset and look somewhat sexy in a little bit. You know, they can't just be.
It's like the flower version of the nurses from Silent Hill.
Yeah. And I think we talked about this one a couple weeks ago on the show. I remember seeing something about it before. I think we have.
I'm Yuito Sumeragi. My power is psychokinesis. Ready? Go!
Yeah. He just threw a subway at somebody. Here, have a subway train. Like, I mean, I know I'm of course biased, but it's like one of those things like I love anime. So anything like anime and that to me, of course, and I get to play anime just like we did what was it? Astral Chains and all that on Switch when we played that, like all those anime style games, you know, Persona 5, anything like that, especially if there's action, like I enjoy, you know, even Persona 5, even though it was turn-based, but you know
Yeah, that looks cool.
Yeah. A cool little different thing. Scorn. So
I'm the most excited for this
Scorn. Yeah, if you guys have not seen anything about Scorn, we're gonna watch this one. This was one that I did want to watch either way.
Be a game that I play as soon as it comes out.
Oh yeah, Scorn.
Yeah,
so if I get it, I'm hoping that this will also be one that releases on PC as well, because it seems like, you know, a lot of their games they're trying to, you know, do on the, you know, the Game Pass or the Windows side of it as well. This one, but atmospheric first-person horror survival game. Yeah, so this one, it's not the gameplay, but it's like it sets the tone for it. We have, I think, talked about it once before as well. Some of you guys might remember it, but I think we talked maybe about a month and a half ago.
I think they showed like a tiny, like 5-second sneak clip of this last year.
Yeah, and I think they said something about it not terribly long ago, and we watched, like, there was like a 30-second reveal that we watched a couple weeks back. But this is like the most we've seen so far.
It looks so good. It's like
looks naughty. That just looks so inappropriate.
Oh, that doesn't look any better.
This is like a horror slasher movie. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Put it in your mouth. Yeah, just like that. So, like I said, obviously not any gameplay, but it really gives you a full sense of the vibe of the game, and I'm all about it. I just really hope the gameplay doesn't suck because there hasn't been any gameplay yet released. But I mean, it's not a shooter. It's a horror adventure game, and those are always exciting to just kind of play around with and jump scare and all that. And as long as there's not mannequins, I'm good. You know, those are the only things that really scare the fuck out of me in games. Or mannequins fuck with me in like horror settings. Like standard mannequins, no worries. But like the faceless body, like the mannequins, like when we last played through what was it, like the Layers of Fear had like the whole mannequin thing.
Mannequins. Did you play through Visage?
Yes. That one, yeah, it has a couple sections, yeah, and that's the thing. Like the only time, like, because it's like, okay, I know they're gonna move, like whatever, and they're just like standing there. If they're moving, doesn't bother me. But it's like when you're looking at them and they're not moving, and then you turn and they start moving, or you hear moving, you turn back, and they're like, that's the kind of shit.
And we're just there.
Yeah, that's the kind of shit that gets me. Like mannequins are like, I'm just like, nope. Like I've told the story a couple times. It was back, I think it was Fear 2 was what it was. There was a room, and you're going through like a mannequin factory, and you go through there, and like this whole floor, and I went through, and they like will move and kind of like chase you. So I went through this whole thing, and I was like, okay, like I got through it the first time, and I think this is why, because I'm like kind of traumatic from it. I got through it the first time, whatever. You know, it kind of freaked me out a little bit, but I got through this whole room. It's this big ass room. They're moving and will attack you or whatever from behind if you're not looking, and all this kind of stuff. But I get through it, and I get out of it, and I die like shortly thereafter. The checkpoint was back on the other side of this room. So I go back into it, and there's only like 4 or 5 mannequins in this room, and they all start out in a corner. So what I do is I go into this room, and I know how the room is set up, so I back up through the whole room towards where the door is, and I get out of this, looking at them the whole time, so they never move. Get out into the alleyway outside this room. I hear a noise behind me. I turn, the fucking mannequins chase me out of the room, and they didn't do that the first time. I turn around, and they're all right fucking here. I was like, oh my God. Like, I literally
made it harder on yourself.
Yeah, I died. Yeah, because they didn't come out of the room the first time.
It's probably like a mechanic to where if you try to face them the whole time, that they get more aggressive.
Yeah, and it had to be something like that, because they did not come out of the room the first time when I played through. So I was like, cool, I'm good. I got out the door, I turned, I just started running. I'm thinking I'm about to fight an enemy or something. You know, the enemies that killed me. I turn, and they're right fucking there, and I was like, no, I died. I probably screamed like a girl. I probably like, it's obviously such a traumatic event that it has stuck with me. That's all I remember from that game. That's all I fucking remember is that. I remember it being a good game. But like that event has stuck with me ever since. It drives me fucking nuts. Just even like I'm worked up just thinking about it again. I did not do the Nuketown mannequins thing. I remember hearing about it. Ooh, excuse me. But I did not do it myself. Pardon me. Second Extinction. Mutant dinosaurs have taken over the planet, and in Second Extinction, players will fight them back to retake the globe from reptilian hordes with the video game way, with lots of guns. You kill mutant dinosaurs. There we go. Very case in point. Sounds like fun. You really, I mean, it sounds like a recipe for success. The Ascent, it's a solo co-op, top-down action RPG in a cyberpunk world. Mega Corporation that controls the world has collapsed. Players will have to fight through enemies either alone or with friends to figure out what went wrong. Yeah. This one, I'm curious to see. This one, I'm not. Oh, what happened? I did a thing. Something's playing somewhere. There we go. I'm like, something's playing somewhere. I'm not saying I'm not excited for this, but this one, it would be right up my alley. It just depends how it looks as it's coming out. So that's one that I'm going to be personally keeping my eye on because I love my RPGs. I love the Cyberpunk. So, I mean, it's top-down. It could be a lot of fun for me. Medium is another one that's a horror game, psychological horror game.
Too.
Yeah,
it looks really fun.
Let me watch this one. I don't remember how long this one is.
Fun, not literally, but fun.
But yeah, so speaking of Layers of Fear, this is the same studio that made Layers of Fear. play a medium caught between two worlds, and they're gonna do more detail coming soon, is what they say. Yeah, this one is 2 minutes, but I mean, I like horror games, and that's another thing. Like JoJo, every once in a while does those kinds of things, you know.
I'm usually like, I emphasize on horror games, but I'm a chicken shit.
Yeah.
So I know, Wookie.
It is. The co-streaming isn't working for the web show, Wookie, so we're just hanging out this way. Because babies are horrifying, that's why. They're scary.
Not so much babies, but unborn babies.
Yeah.
Unborn babies are literally aliens if you really think about it.
They're alien parasites. I like the way that they're doing the two worlds. I like the sneak peek there of how hell looks. It reminds me of, honestly,
Hi.
one of the
Hope
things.
you enjoyed
I'm gonna do that.
No.
I was gonna say like, yeah. I'm like, I knew it remember not being long. That's why I was surprised it was 2 minutes there. I was like, wait, what? It reminds me of one of my favorite like depictions of hell was in the Constantine movie with what's his face?
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves. Very underrated. I don't know if it's an underrated movie, but I don't think it got as much love as it should. But I think that's one of my favorite depictions of hell, where it's not like all just fire, brimstone kind of thing, but it's just like it's a degraded version of our world,
like a
almost
rundown apocalyptic society.
yeah, kind of just like being degraded. Like that's one of my favorite renditions of it, and just stuff going on. And then you have, of course, like the the pillars of people stuck and being tormented and all that. So, but that's what that reminds me of, is that kind of version. See, I didn't hate him as Constantine. I thought he did okay. And,
I don't think Keanu as anything.
yeah, I would say like I'll take.
Fabulous.
I'm looking forward to playing and talking with Keanu in Cyberpunk too.
People give Keanu shit, but they forget that Nicolas Cage exists.
I'm just talking about the character as he played him as a. No, we're not talking about Constantine comic books. We're not talking about. Yeah. Wookie, I'm agreeing with you there. I'm just saying, like, I liked the movie for what it was. Not like, I'm not saying he was Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool because Ryan Reynolds was made for that character. I'm saying
no better role for Ryan Reynolds.
but the movie, based as it is, yeah. But to be fair, for me also though, look, I saw the movie before I ever really read or saw any comic book stuff for Constantine. I didn't get into a lot more comics until after that. So that might be why. But Bloodlines 2. I still have not played the first Bloodlines, which I still want to. That and the expansion and everything. Cult classic RPG. It's on my list. It's on my Steam wish list. This one coming to the Xbox with the 4K reveal and everything. This is one, like I said, that I did want to watch as well. If you guys haven't played the Bloodlines games or haven't seen anything about them, they're awesome. The original Bloodlines... It's been a minute. Notorious. Yeah. But they did an expansion you know, I'm just saying.
Can confirm.
Yeah.
Oh. Quite escalated.
I'm excited that they're bringing back the series. It's something that I know has been a great platform. What there's 1, 2, or I think there was like an also small offshoot of a game that they had a couple years back. But I'm excited for it. You know, vampire RPG goodness. So it's fun. It's cool. And then Yakuza Like a Dragon. Sega's Yakuza series, so we'll see how that pans out because it's, you know, Sega, and, you know, it's Sega. I don't know what more needs to be really said about that. This is supposed to be a launch title that's going to be, like I said, it's already out as well in Japan, so this one I'm not as excited for, but also they get a lot of stuff before us, so I can't really say that too much. But this is going to be something that they're going to have with the 4K compatibility and all that when it comes out. So that's why it made it into this list of that. Oh, excuse me. Mr. Dreamcast? Oh, yeah. The Dreamcast was way before its time. Way before its time. I think if the Dreamcast had come out a couple years later, it would have kept Sega alive in the industry. But I just think people weren't ready for what it was.
Yeah.
And all the potential that it had. But that was the Xbox 2020 event. Next month, they will be having another one as well on the Xbox Inside 2020. If I recall correctly, it's supposed to be talking more about specs or something like that. There hasn't been much information, but I remember when we talked about it last week on the show, chat, you guys, I think it was Ryan or somebody told me that the next 2020 event is supposed to be more kind of like about specs and the community, I think, focused around the Series X and all that. And then, of course, the July episode is going to be the kind of Halo one. And that's that. That was the Xbox 2020 event. There we go. There's the biggest news thing that happened this week. And we'll move right along unless, Jojo, you got anything else that I didn't cover? Or chat?
No, I'm pretty good on that front. Yeah.
Chat. Moving right along. Next topic. E3 2020, which isn't a thing. But I have it because it has now pretty much all the events. A lot of the events. How do I want to phrase this? A lot of the conferences, things like that, like we talked about a little bit last week, some of them are really getting finalized now since we are getting closer to the dates when E3 was going to be. A lot of the companies that were supposed to have conferences, the bigger ones at E3, have now finalized when they are having their conferences. Because like we said, a lot of these are just moving it to the digital side of things and kind of tailoring their conferences to streaming them, etc. Because they still have that content. They still want to give it out. So they want them there. So we have a lot of the dates for that. Over the coming months, we have a couple ones. A lot of them are focused around the same dates of E3. But a couple of them span a couple months. So one of those is Summer Game Fest, which is going to be a couple month long event. It actually goes through September, I believe that I saw. It's officially being held by the Game Awards presenter, Jeff Cayley, I think is how you say his name. It starts today. Ooh, I hit a button. It started today at 11 a.m. There was kind of an interview kind of thing. The next event for it, which is something we'll talk about next week, but tomorrow is going to be kind of linked in with Summer Game Fest. They're doing like videos and gameplay footage and all that over the next 2 months. A lot of these releases that you wouldn't have since E3 got canceled. So tomorrow at 4 p.m. there's a Ghost of Tsushima first look 18-minute demo partnered with this Sony as well through this Summer Game Fest event. If you guys aren't familiar, Ghost of Tsushima is another game that's a Sony game that's coming out that I'm really excited for. It's an action-adventure samurai game. It's based in action-adventure game based in feudal Japan. So there is an 18-minute video of that coming out tomorrow at 4 p.m. So definitely check that out. Like I said, links are there in the Discord for you guys as well to see all of that information. And I'll throw that back up there as well for the actual links for it. I'm pretty sure that Sony is probably also going to have something up on their site. I don't know for sure, but the Summer Game Fest and all that is on there as well because I saw that initially through there. Yeah, that's it for Summer Game. Like I said, the next 2-3 months, they have a lot of small things kind of coming out that you'll see. I recommend, the link is there in the Discord. I recommend actually going to their website, signing up for the schedule / the event emailer because it tells you when a lot of these things are happening as they're happening. So it's pretty much kind of filling in all those smaller shows and reveals that maybe not these bigger companies that we're about to talk about haven't rescheduled. So that's kind of where I see this being a thing. Guerrilla Collective, it's a multi-day showcase over the weekend that would have been E3. Multi-day showcase focused on indie and mid-sized studios. Demos and videos from makers of Divinity, Disco Elysium, and something Frostpunk. So all those developers, June 6th, 1 p.m. Demos from all of them, which are games right up my alley, 110%. This is just literally just like information kind of stuff. PC gaming show, one-off broadcasts, random game demos. That's on the 6th. All of this stuff on that weekend, 3 p.m. So pretty much, long story short, as I cover a couple things, I'm going to point out a couple things more so. But that weekend of E3, make sure that you're paying attention to your socials, and I'll be talking about them and probably posting and retweeting them because a lot of these events that were happening are still happening just on, realistically, probably Twitch or their personal websites. Steam Game Festival, always a fun time. That happens right after E3 every year. Just a reminder, that still is going on. Also, Microsoft will be included there. CD Projekt Red, they have a info panel as well on the 11th. They don't have the time, but we're going to get more information from them. The new EA Play Live 2020, which is just like Microsoft's 2020, which is just like Nintendo. Everybody's doing, whatever. But EA has theirs that weekend as well, June 11th. Ubisoft has one on the 12th. And then, of course, the Microsoft normals. All that being said, definitely sign up for the notifications from the site. See that. We'll be talking about them here on the show. Personally, the thing that I'm most excited for, honestly, is that one that I mentioned, the Guerrilla Collective, because I like my RPGs. And that, the Baldur's Gate, Divinity directors, Larian Studios, Banner Saga, all those guys, Pillars of Eternity, all those kind of developers are having their own show as well. So I'm excited about that one. But it's cool
I'm probably excited for PC gaming / Steam. Mm-hmm. I usually like those. I play a lot of stupid little.
Well, yeah. The Steam Gaming Festival is always fun because it's just like you find random games for like $5. So even though E3 isn't a thing, they're still doing it, and a lot of these games. So what they have, for those of you guys not familiar, a lot of those games are even like maybe not the bigger games, but even like the medium to smaller size games that you would see at E3, things like that. They have demos there, and then the way that they set it up is like, oh hey, also released today. These demos are live on Steam and that type of thing. A lot of these guys kind of pair E3 or even like some of these other shows with releasing demos and things like that on Steam, as well as just sales in general from their brand. So yeah, Steam Game Festival still going on even without E3.
And then the Xbox 2020, I don't know why they don't have a date for that yet. That seems rather important. But yeah, in July.
Well, the July one, I think I had a date last week when it was. I don't know why this article doesn't have it.
Yeah, this article says TBD, but I'm pretty sure they already have dates for
they already have
2 months. Yeah.
Which, I don't count their July one. I think their June one, this article has like the Microsoft one linked, but like we just talked about with the 2020 going over the whole event, they're having these all the way up until, also, the Series X.
Ubisoft is having their own separate branch away one this year, which usually they're usually like bundled with somebody else. So it's really nice that they have their own, and they called it something different. It's the Ubisoft Forward.
Forward, correct.
So yeah, that's new. They've never done that before. So.
And they're kind of taking a page out of that from like EA, because like we said before, EA's normally does their own separate kind of thing, the EA Play Live. I kind of glossed over that just because we talked about it all last week, so I don't want to get into it again this week. But Ubisoft is doing the EA Play Live. They kind of do their own standalone event themselves outside of E3 either way. So Ubisoft is kind of mimicking off of EA's way of doing it. And we'll see more Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They mentioned here the new Watch Dogs coming out. So a lot of that definitely will be there. Long story short, all that stuff that you would see at E3, if you're not there, all those press conferences, all that kind of stuff, it's still going on, guys. At the end of the day, you're still going to get to see it. Yep. All these companies already have these demos, all this stuff. They already spent thousands of dollars making this stuff.
They're just hosting it in their own backyards instead.
Yeah, which, like we've said before, might be the future either way, because in my opinion...
I honestly think it should be. There's no reason for us to go out to all these big festivals and conventions.
Yeah.
It just costs everybody more money, and it accomplishes the same exact thing, if not being more accomplished.
Yeah.
Because you have less technical difficulties trying to put on an actual live performance for it than you would if you just did it at your own fucking house or something.
I mean, it's nice to, to be in a live auditorium and all that, but I think those days maybe are gone. And I kind of mentioned this a couple weeks ago, like the E3, I have said it before, if I didn't get a media badge this year for it, and if I don't get a media badge to go, I'm not going to go. Like 5-6 years ago, I wanted to go to E3. 10 years ago, I wanted to go to E3.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to E3, and I would still like to go once. But if it becomes like not a thing anymore, then that's fine. I think most people just like to go to stuff like E3 because you get tons of free shit. You get to meet the game devs. You get to play all the demos like months before they come out. Like that's really the only reason. It's not actually like any different from watching it at home.
It's not. Yeah, it's not what it once was, where we used to. That was the end all be all for gaming news for that year. Was like E3 or
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to talk to that guy. I want to talk to that guy, and I'm good.
Yeah. I want to go meet so and so.
Yeah.
But, that's not a thing anymore. And a lot of these companies already have started, just EA, for example, Nintendo Direct, like Sony holding their own conferences. All these companies have already branched out from E3. And I've said it before, if this needs to be the catalyst that E3 needs to change. Like they need to adopt an online thing or something, because a majority of these companies are already moving away from having a physical presence at that convention. And E3, for the price and everything, the way that it is, it's just moving forward in the industry.
There's a lot of companies that don't even go to E3 anymore.
Yeah, because they have their own shows.
It really ends up being like Microsoft, PlayStation, or like Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, and Ubisoft. Like that's like the main. And then like every couple of years, Bethesda has one. Yeah. But like Bethesda is the slowest at making games. Yeah. So.
And then but even those like Sony and all that, they're not making big reveals at E3. They're talking about things that are already there. Your big reveals of yesteryear that used to happen at E3 now are happening on a personal scale, because Sony has its own, yearly,
Sony
broadcast.
They haven't even officially announced their PS5 yet, and people are like, "Yo, you already like leaked it, so like just give it."
Yeah,
and
they're
not giving anything.
We're still talking about specs this, all rumor. There's still nothing.
I think they're waiting for a more solid model of Xboxes to come out, and then they're gonna like try to one up it and like put it out last minute.
Well, that's the thing, is that we've talked about this a couple times, and I am firmly a believer, and chat may or may not remember and agree or disagree. I'm a firm believer that with Microsoft and Xbox, with all that's come out and what they're talking about Xbox Series X has, I feel like the only reason that Sony has not released theirs as well is because they realize theirs is not up to par.
Oh yeah,
and that's why, and that's
agree.
why they haven't released, is that they need to make some changes. Because what have they released? Oh, here's our new controller that's different. Okay, cool. Like that's all that they've released.
That, like, the PS4 had the edge over the Xbox One.
Hands down, PS4 had, won that
Xbox
generation.
One X, it just kind of held up to the PS4 instead of surpassing it.
Yeah.
But they took what the Xbox One X was and they basically tripled it with the Series X, and it's gross.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that the Series X can do, my $3,800 gaming PC can't do. Like it's it's nasty.
It is going to be a great piece of hardware. We've talked about it a lot, but yeah, I agree. I think the only reason Sony hasn't come out, there's a lot of things that have like tinily, little minute leaks and all that, but I think they're playing catch up right now. Like they've said multiple times that they're not pushing back the date of, when that's going to be released, the PS5, but the fact that we still don't have concrete info on what certain things are, I think that they're scrambling to, at least try and keep on par with the Series X in this generation. Because I don't think they were expecting all that Microsoft is having from cloud side to this, everything that really we've talked about on the platform. Because it's been over a month now. It's been a month and a half probably since Microsoft like Series X and everything like released what they said. That's a lot of time in console war industry to just let your competitor have all the news,
I mean, it really is. And I'm just like, I don't know what Sony's doing. Are they pulling a Nintendo where they just go absent for 2 years and then they come out with a Switch? Like,
yeah,
Nintendo did that. They were like, woe is me. We have nothing for like 2 years. And then they're like, bam, Switch.
Yeah.
And it's like the greatest console that's ever come out.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if Sony's like going to do that. They're just like, oh, we can't do anything this year. Oh, we're going to bankrupt. And then they're going to be like PS98. And it's going to be like, a floating hoverboard console or something. Who knows?
Yeah. So I want it to be.
Who knows?
There was somebody, I saw an article or a response somewhere, and somebody was like, since the Microsoft looks like the rectangle or whatever, PS5 just needs to be totally opposite and redesign theirs to just be like a circle, like a sphere on a stand, just to totally like be like, this is the difference, like the difference of shapes. Like here's a a sphere just on a little stand kind of thing that somehow you learn. I have not seen, or a triangle, some kind of like standalone thing just to make it like even hardware aesthetic look wise, just stand alone and be like, we're not Series X or whatever. Like I actually still kind of like that, whatever that PS5 concept art of it looking like a V. Like if it looks just standard like the PS2, PS4, PS3, whatever.
I had this dream one night about this new PlayStation model that came out. I don't know why I was dreaming about this, but I had this dream that it was like, their logo that's like the X, zero, circle, square, triangle.
Mm-hmm.
I had a dream that they had that logo, like all of those side by side, was what their console was like. It was just a cutout of that, and their shit was like this thick, and their shit was just inside of it.
Interesting.
Would that be dope? And it had like neon lights around it, so it lit up.
Mm-hmm.
Would that not be dope? Just to have it like sit behind you, but it's an actual console.
Yeah,
it'd be dope.
And like the homage of the original Xbox, how it kind of had like the X on top, except even more cut out, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, since we're talking about them, I know JoJo's getting a thing right here, but PlayStation once again is in the news. I'm gonna open it up. Well, no, we can still do it. Yeah. Yeah. No, I can still see it.
Okay.
But I'll bring that up in a second. PlayStation, since we are talking about them, they once again, speaking of them catching up to Microsoft in this current generation, I'm not saying this as a Microsoft fanboy. I'm just like we just talked about, like PlayStation won the last console generation. I'm just stating facts as facts.
I mean, no, I have a PS4. It was a necessary buy.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. But PlayStation now has their own studios, just like Microsoft came out with literally a year ago, called PlayStation Studios. That looks exactly like Microsoft Studios. That is all their first party goodness. All their internal studios,
totally
Naughty
original.
Dog, Insomniac, Santa Monica Studios. So once again, Sony wins the nonsense award for the week of just being like,
we straight
Sony.
up copied you, not even hiding it.
This is like the third week in a row, like third or fourth week. It's just been like Sony, like just stop like copying. Like it just like they're like trying to catch up. It's like
you could take a news article from last year that's like Microsoft blah 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 and just put Sony on it instead, and that's what Sony's doing.
Yeah, that's
right
pretty
now.
much what exactly they did. So they now officially have their own Sony Studio. And even the funny thing is they have this, and this is like a big thing that came out with now. There's PlayStation Studios. The current games that are coming out that are on that, which I don't see how it wouldn't be that hard, but I guess they already have the physical copies maybe already made. I don't know. But like the games coming out here shortly, like Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima and all that. Well, actually Ghost is not a first party one. I retract that. but
Yeah.
I don't think. But Last of Us, of course, is Naughty Dog, and that it's not gonna have this PlayStation Studios like intro. There's like a little 10-second intro. I'm like, how hard would it be to really like? You've known that this is gonna be a thing for a year. Just like tell the developer like when you're doing it, be like,
Hey, chuck that in.
yeah,
right?
like for 10 seconds at the beginning of your thing, like. I don't know, like I feel like this isn't something like they woke up last week and decided. So even still, this is announced. This probably won't be a thing. They don't even know what game is going to be the first one from PlayStation Studios. This probably won't be a thing until PS5 comes out.
Here's my question though: how many individual teams do they have in their PlayStation Studios? Because you know how Microsoft has like, don't they have like 50 dev teams?
Yeah. Well, right now
They
the
own,
only
like,
ones that I
50.
saw, because I actually did, I always do a couple other articles besides what I send you guys. The only ones officially that I saw are their first party ones of Naughty Dog, Insomniac, and Santa Monica Studios. That's all that
So
I've seen.
3.
Yeah, and those are big names. Like they make great
Those
games,
are, yeah.
but
and they make up like 80% of
yeah, they're first
all
party
of
games.
the early
Yeah,
2000s and late 90s PlayStation.
Yeah. And that's it. So which is good. So, but I don't know if there are smaller, companies that are going to be
'Cause
ingrained into it.
Isn't Naughty Dog like the entire Crash Bandicoot series and a couple of others?
Naughty Dog paired with, actually I have this in my notes because it's somewhere up that we're coming up with.
I
When we
swear
talked
Naughty
about
Dog did the old Crash
well,
series.
like I think they had developers from it, and that's why it actually. Did they actually do it, or were they the main developer? I know they had a hand in it, but I thought maybe it was the developers. I don't know if it was under that brand label. I thought it might have been the developers worked on that as well. One of those
Maybe.
scenarios,
I just remember seeing a Naughty Dog on one of the games that I had growing up because it
Well, maybe it
confused
was
me,
under that
and
name.
I thought Crash Bandicoot was a dog because the intro said Naughty Dog, and I was like, this
Okay.
doesn't make any sense.
Okay, I couldn't remember, so there we go. So yeah, it was theirs. I was thinking that Crash was one of those that was like
the
a
new Crash
developers.
wasn't done by Naughty Dog. It was
Yeah,
done by someone
okay.
different. A
Well,
different
that
studio
that
did
one I know.
Crash.
Yeah, the remaster and all that. But I thought
The
even
remasters
originally.
were handled by
Yeah, we're gonna actually cover that here shortly.
yeah.
We'll
save
get to
that.
that in a second. Yeah, well, that's
Oh my
why I was
God.
like, wait.
I'm really excited for that part.
I know.
So
Yeah,
let's just
we'll
get the
we'll
other
get there.
three things in front of it.
So this link that Lefty just sent. So this is a Series X concept. Obviously, like we know what it is, but this is kind of like a cool thing. And I didn't see it. When's the date on this? This was April 28th. I never saw this come through. And I have like 6-7 different news websites that I try to go through every
You
week.
have a lot of news websites. All Nick's phone notifications are different news.
Well,
Not even any social media, just news.
well, maybe. Oh, I was saying, if it's gaming stuff, if he wants to just kind of slide in that section of my Discord, that subsection, and like post those links, Because subs, by the way, that's why that section is in your Discord where I post links as well. You guys can post things to possibly talk about, or I might miss something. You never know. There could be an article randomly that I miss every week. And that's also why we have the section of the Discord to talk about.
News section, so.
Yeah. But so this is like what he was talking about, that there's this is a concept for with a projector and all that built in.
Yeah, that looks super dope.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know about that. I don't know if I like that controller design, but it looks cool. I'm just trying to think about how that would feel in my hands. That's what she said.
Yeah. Giggity. Oh, I'm on the wrong. I'm on my
feel
web
like
show
it's
thing. I can't hit
high up.
giggity.
Too high up. I don't know. I'm like sitting here trying to actually.
I know.
do
Like,
it.
it reminds me of what controller
I like
was
that
it?
low profile. It looks really low profile, though. I like it. I like that the D-pad
there's-
looks like it rotates.
Yeah, like it's an actual sort of, and that's like the Elite controller. Like it kind of
It
has.
reminds me of like an iPod.
Yeah.
Like a spinny. Hi, Charlie.
I don't know if it's Dreamcast that it reminds me of. It reminds me of something. I mean, I see a little bit of Dreamcast in it. I did see that.
Yeah, this thing is dope. This is just a
Yeah, this is just concept, little thing.
Yeah, but it looks so cool. Like, step aside, Amazon.
Yeah.
I want one of these in my house.
With the Kinect already built in, you know. You don't need an external thing.
Crazy.
This is like that idea for that futuristic console. Like, this is what the consoles will have to be. Like, I get this. And then we talked about what would consoles need to be in future generations. Like
We have, like,
they need to
Alexa
be
sound
yeah, they need to incorporate. They need to be all in one thing. Like this has soundbar. Like you would have why if I'm gonna pay $1,000 for a console, it needs to have Alexa. It needs to have 3D sound. It needs to have.
You better reorder my underwear for me.
Yeah, exactly, and that's fine. Like, and I will buy that then. I'll have that sitting there.
Xbox, buy me some songs.
Yeah. with my branding on it, be like buy JoJo thongs, and it buys them with your logo. You know.
Great. Speaking of underwear, I might have to mark it into that.
You can get bras and swimsuits and all that at least through like Streamlabs.
Charging 12 inches away.
That would be.
Yeah.
Imagine if this was all a thing.
Why don't we have that yet? Phones can do that. We don't have that in gaming controllers. Like, are you kidding me? That software, that technology has been around for like 5 years now for wireless charging, and no one is taking advantage of it, and it pisses me off.
I mean, I have the charging things, but yeah, even a third-party developer making a pack or something that has a wireless charging station just to set it on.
Just setting your controller down, and it's like bloop, and it charges, and you never have to worry about it ever again. You never have to plug in another micro USB for your entire life.
It's true. It's true.
I appreciate you.
There's all that.
Oh, really? Elite Series 2 has that? Well, fuck.
Oh, it does? Well, I didn't know about that.
I didn't either. Does it come with a charging pad? Or do you have to buy that separate?
Flower. Oh, that was actually... I just realized. I'm like, we're not in co-stream. I was about to be like, who is that for? Flower. Good. Hi. I just realized what happened. I was thinking it was like Jojo, and I was about to ask like, who is that for? Because that needs some recognition. So, thank you. Holy shit. I just got $100 dono, so that's why I was like, wait, who is that for? I was about to wait and ask like, who is that for? Because I'm used to like the embers thing when we're doing the co-stream, guys. Normally like there's 3 of us, and it's hard to tell when there are embers donated. That's why it's small. It shows to all of us. So that's why it's like I was waiting to like be like, who's that for? Because it shows up on all of our notifications as a dono when you're in a co-stream. So hey, Flower. Well, now I'm all like flustered. Jojo, what are we talking about next? Wait, where are we? Where are we, guys? Flower, thank you so much.
You want to skip like 3 topics and get to the fun one?
No, like there's only one other topic in between. There's only one other topic. It's a short one. It's a short one. Thank you so much, Flower. Only one other topic, which is Twitch gift cards are a thing. If you guys haven't seen, Twitch actually released gift cards now on their platform. 100% digital. 25, 50, 100, and 200 denominations. There we go. That's the dollar amounts, denominations. That's the word I'm looking for.
NA only right now.
NA only. Can be used on bits and subs. Pretty much just the stuff on their platform.
It's just like a preloaded money card to use on Twitch. And I mean, honestly, it's really great idea.
Fucking great idea. Mixer needs to get on this shit right away.
Yeah, I mean they do. I think I don't know if they're quite to the publicity level where they could have them in like your local grocery store and they would sell.
Yeah.
I don't think Mixer's quite there yet, but definitely need to get on that.
Yeah, this is a great idea, and I mean it's something that also will work for them as a platform because it almost kind of puts money back in even easier than I think like doing giveaways for like bits or like us doing embers.
But also think about those probably have expiration dates on them, just like regular gift cards do. So think about the amount of people that are going to buy those and like forget and not use it, or
there's
leave
$5 left over.
You know what I mean? Like you always have like $3.87 left on your like Rue 21 card, but you throw it away because you can't get anything with $3, right? So I'm sure they're going to make so much more money just on like the wasted, pennies on a dollar that are left on those.
Yeah.
For whenever.
Yeah, 110%. And that's the thing. And it's one of those, even if they buy them, with the surcharge of buying one, maybe, just like with bits and everything else, if it's not just straight $25, you have that. This is a lot easier to give to like partners on their platform, just like they do with us. It's like, hey, you want to give away subs or whatever? Like, hey,
Yeah.
give away
But
a
here,
$10
this
gift card.
$50 gift card. Yeah.
And then they could use it on bits and all that, which, you know, obviously still isn't really putting money back in right away, but I feel like this is a lot easier to manage than a free
It's not promising you the money, but it's promising somebody. the money.
and it's I think it would be easier
Yeah.
easier to build around giving out a $10 gift card they would use, and then giving out, like we have pro codes and sub codes and this and like all this kind of stuff. I think logistically it might be better for them handling it internally as well for giveaways and things like that. You know, us giving away embers like on the platform when Mixer does those. That's just my thought. I think Mixer needs to get on this right away.
Z Queen brings up Microsoft actually has like a Microsoft balance. Like you can have a pending balance in your Microsoft, and if you like sub to somebody, it'll just feed out of that balance. Not a lot of people use that feature, but that's part of the Microsoft rewards thing that you can get free subs with now. But if Mixer did something like that, all of that you could just immediately redeem that and it would just go in your Microsoft balance, so you could literally never forget about it, because if you buy anything on your Xbox or your Windows 10 store, it comes out of your Microsoft balance, so you could use it for all kinds of things.
And then the same thing, like you could even like I would say, just like with the redeeming for subs, you could redeem because you can, even those reward points, like now you can redeem for subs, Microsoft reward points, you can redeem for gift cards in general as well.
You can redeem them for Xbox Live. You can redeem them for, I think you can get a free controller if you save
like
up enough.
other Microsoft stuff and like gift cards and all that. So once again, have a gift card.
It's really cheap. It's like what, 3,600 points?
Yeah.
You can get that in like a half an hour.
Yeah,
honestly.
5,000 points, you get a $10 Mixer gift card.
Yeah.
There you go. You know, that you could use on whatever. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just throwing out random numbers. I'm just, you know, hypothetically.
Like that. Yeah, it's really cool.
I like that idea. But we'll move along to the fun topic that I'm actually really excited about as well.
Super excited.
If you have not seen, for whatever silly reason, let me pull it up. I'm just, even before I switch to it, I'm just gonna pull us straight into the fucking announcement trailer, and we're gonna play it.
I peed myself when I saw this.
Dude, I was so excited!
I was so excited. I love how they're doing it too. Like they're keeping it all original. So good. And it comes out on Tony Hawk's freaking birthday.
That's crazy. That's appropriate.
It is. We tweeted it. It was so funny.
Fucking Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remaster.
I'm so excited.
All like the classic maps have been redone that we all remember. And my favorite part is there's an online multiplayer mode now. So good. So a little bit information before we start talking about it for you guys here. Let me flip over to the right page. Of course, Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remaster. That's why it has both those there, and I'll get into that a little bit in a second. September 4th, like you saw, on PS, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Current generation, not the new ones. Like we said, has online play. We'll get into that more in a second, that you can share parks and challenges. A vast majority, in quotes, of the original songs. So a little bit of copyright issues, obviously, with like 20 or licensing issues with 20-year-old game. A couple of them they couldn't get, but they did get a vast majority, they said. So maybe that 1 or 2 songs might be not able to get. But I mean, as you saw, like even like Power Man 5000, like a lot of these, I think a lot of artists, I think it would probably be the ones who maybe blew up even more so after this. Like, I don't know like who.
think the ones that like blew up because of being on the Tony Hawk soundtrack were like, no, we're too good for that now.
Yeah, like I feel like the ones that aren't like mainstream, I feel like the more like secondary ones, like Less Than Jake, when you talk about that, how there's a song from them on there, like all those, I'm sure they're still on there. Power Man 5, like they're still on there because they know, like, you know, they're not worrying.
Rap guys, I'm sure those guys aren't on there.
Yeah, I'm gonna be interested to see who actually is on it. Same company that remade Crash Bandicoot, so that's why we were saying with Crash Bandicoot. So this company is good at remakes. This is kind of like what they do, remasters.
Yeah.
You know, same core game. Their main intention is to preserve the original experience with additions as well. Obviously, graphics and other things like that, but they want that same core experience. One of the big things I do want to point out is the metagame. So the reason why it says 1+2. It is not two separate games coming to you. They are built in together. So they don't want you to play through like all of Tony Hawk 1 and then have to restart at Tony Hawk 2 and, you know, redo tricks and maps and all that kind of stuff. Like it's together. You'll be able to go from a map on 2 to a map on 1. Like it's all built into one meta game, which I think is
great because both of those games, if you think about the game sizes back then, those games were tiny.
Yeah.
So both of those games combined equal almost what a full game would be
one
now.
full game now. Yeah. And then so like Jojo was saying, the online play, I think I'm really excited for. You can create your own parks, the challenges, things like that. I want to hold a skating competition. Like I want a mixer matchups where we're all just there loaded into that original Tony Hawk. I can't even remember the name, but that first map, the first one, even this one here, because it's, you know, this right here, yeah, whatever, the garage kind of thing. This one, like that looks
it's so crazy,
fucking amazing. But I want a mixer matchups where 10 people load into this and have a skating competition. That's what I fucking want. You know. So excited.
Yeah.
So excited.
I'm so excited. I can't wait. Like if these do really well, then they'll maybe they'll redo the other ones. Like Tony Hawk 3 was a really big one for me. Like I played 1 and 2, but I played the shit out of 3. Like I'm excited.
I think 3 would probably be the last one. 4, I think from 4 it started to go downhill a little bit. But 3 still was good. Yeah, 3 still is. Yeah,
really good. I have hope.
Yeah, I do too.
Because they want to do it all on its own.
Oh, so they were able to get original assets for the character movements, but they had to rebuild the maps. Ooh, damn, that's insane. But I mean, that's cool that they took that love and care. Building on, and actually I meant to mention this as well, and opposite of like the licensing thing for the music, all of the skaters, they have them and they have modeled them accurately off of them because they have permission from every skater who is it, because majority of skaters, if you read the article,
if you're a pro skater, you don't say no to Tony Hawk.
Well, I mean that, and also a lot of these guys know that this was kind of, you know, there's articles like in this article.
That's how they got started.
Yeah, this is how how their names got out, even more so than just skating. You know, they built them being popular was built on the fact that they were in this Tony Hawk game back in the day. So they were like, fuck yeah.
This wasn't their publicity. Yeah. This was their outrising. So
yeah, so they were all for it. So everybody who was in the original game is still modeled in this game and is actually character modeled, has the rights. So like even read through like the names.
Are there new people?
What was that?
Are there any new people, or is it just the
I didn't see that, but everybody that they listed, I recognize as people who were in the game. You know, so like I said, it's like Jeff Rowley, Bucky Lasik, like all these, like I remember just because I played these games. Bob Burnquist, Chad Muska, like I remember these names because of playing this, and that's why they're like, fuck yeah, load us back into it, you know?
Yeah, Kareem Campbell, Andrew Reynolds, Jeff Rowley.
Yep, Kareem Campbell. Yep.
Steve Caballero. Yeah.
Like all these guys I remember, and that's the thing. So it's like, hey, fuck yeah, put us right back into it. And the character progression will be awesome as well. And that's, I think, that builds in with the meta, and that's why they combined 1 and 2. So that way, you know, you unlock those tricks like back in the day and establish them and all that. But now it's more like meta-wise between the 2 games where they're able to combine it, and you don't have to worry about unloading, reloading, you know. But yeah, I'm so excited.
Pumped. I want it to be September right now.
I'm gonna. That will be one that you have to controller though. Like I don't see me playing this on PC.
No, I'm gonna play this on my PlayStation.
Keep it old school, you know. Actually play it on play. But it is gonna be on Xbox and PC, guys. I'll probably play it on PC with a controller because you know I like my graphics to be.
I guess I'll probably get it on both. I probably will get it on PlayStation for the nostalgia's sake, but then I want to get it on PC for like the online multiplayer and like the park building and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
that would be fun.
So, but pre-orders coming soon to the PlayStation Store. It'll be a lot of fun. Even just reliving that soundtrack. You know,
I have a lot of the songs from those soundtracks on my current playlist. I listen to like they come up while I'm playing games, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's Tony Hawk song.
Yeah, a lot of us do.
10 years younger, like it's so good.
Yep, a lot of us do. Yeah, no, I cannot. I don't know how many times I could say I cannot wait. It's gonna be so much fun just to relive this with better graphics. Like, yeah, okay, games have changed like this, that, but I think this will be a fun just to have. Hey, let's do a skate night, you know, and just fucking go around and have a community meetup and just skate and you know have like competitions or whatever, just to or you know the mixer matchups.
Exist.
The
like
what?
for like the cheat codes for like unlimited like balancing for like manuals and then like extra air for your ramping, like all that random shit.
All the random ones. Like there probably is a mode where you can put that in there.
Super speed skating.
Oh yeah, dude.
That's so fun.
So much. Yeah, I spent way.
They probably will. The cheat codes might work. The cheat codes for like Spyro still work on that remaster.
Yeah, and I think you know, from this developer standpoint, I'm sure they're probably going to do that. Obviously not in the online thing, but just for the single player thing, that's part of the experience. You know, it is.
It is. There's not a single person that can't say they didn't look up a cheat code and put it in because they were bored one day. Yeah, we all did it. Shut up.
Yeah, just to try it. It's different when it's single player. Single player doesn't affect anybody. Multiplayer,
fun.
Yeah, multiplayer, you know, is different.
Spyro, I did the cheat code to turn him black. My Spyro was black for my entire playthrough. Why not, right?
Yeah. Insights on JoJo and what she likes.
Black Spyro heads.
Yes. Giggity. Moving right along. Speaking of giggity, Cyberpunk.
That's a good segue.
Great segue. I've gotten good at this. Speaking of, so new information with Cyberpunk and everything that is coming out. So this is a little bit based around the Cyberpunk. No surprise, is officially rated M for mature. For a couple different reasons. A lot of them, you know, obviously, guns, gore,
violence, and language, and probably sexual things.
Yeah, exactly. But the most notable that I want to talk about that, you know, was noticed this week that was not revealed before is part of the reason it got M for mature is players can select a gender and customize their character. Customization can include depictions of breasts, buttocks, and genitalia, as well as various sizes and combinations of genitals. So they went the Conan Exiles route where you can modify and hang your penis to whatever size and direction you want in Cyberpunk 2077, if you want to have a penis.
I didn't.
It's like, you know, and also like the way that it's even worded, I'm curious. So we haven't had any comment from Cyberpunk itself. This is just off of the ESRB side of it. But like the way that they describe it, various sizes and combinations of genitals. The wording of combinations of genitals makes me think that you could also have almost a hermaphroditic character.
I'm also wondering because like since we're supposed to be like a part robot, right?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you could have like a robot dick.
Yeah, like
maybe that's what that means. Like maybe your dick can be like a half robot, a half regular, or maybe you have like a half robot vagina, or whatever. Who knows?
You could have boobs and also have a 10-inch penis. You know, I mean,
The
you
real
know?
question is, did they model Keanu to scale?
I don't know. Like, did they motion capture him? You know, do the whole,
Did
you know,
they
the
get
motion.
Keanu naked, paint him green screen, and
Yeah,
just throw him in the game?
The little motion capture balls all over the side of it. You know, could you imagine? I wonder.
I'm trying.
Like,
I'm trying really hard to imagine.
JoJo's like
Sitting over here being very quiet.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, that was a huge reveal when maybe that's his.
It was. Keanu was huge for last year. Like
fucking that reveal.
He's gonna have a massive part to do with this game and the release and all of the content in it, because you can tell he's very invested in it.
Yeah, and he's excited for it, and I would be too if I was fucking working in this fucking game. So, and if they said, "Hey, we want to motion capture your dick," I'd be like, "All right. Let's do it."
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's fucking go. Put the
Knowing
little.
Keanu, he would have told them to make it smaller so he didn't embarrass everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he would have been like, yeah, sure. 3 inches matter. Yeah, just to be like, oh, yep. And then, because with Keanu, it would be just the thing. Just the same reason I joke is that he would have girls coming up to him being going like, is it really the same size that it is as it is in the video game? And all you have to do is be like, find out. That's all it is.
I don't know.
Is it? I don't know. Do you take the red pill or the blue pill? You know, I mean, which way do you want to go with this? But of course, like I said, rated M for mature. I think that's kind of cool because, you know, for what it says, it's amusing, it's fun, but standing by itself, it shows that this character creation, just like everything else in this game, is intense. You know, it's... And I'm excited. The fact that you could even, you know, Conan Exiles was the only other one that got like big press, and I remember being a thing where you could run around with Conan Exiles with, you know, an elephant trunk, you know.
Yeah.
And that was the only other game that's really done this. But even that, it's like the amount of detail that you can give to character creation, I think will be great, you know. And this just speaks to that, you know, all jokes aside.
I mean, it's about time. You've been able to change your boob size in every game for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
So it's about time I can make my characters whatever else look however
and also,
I want.
they're talking about buttocks too. I cannot wait to make my flat-assed fucking character just like myself. And that thing will look like a fucking plank. Big bet. You know, it's gonna, you know, the only bulge, like I say for myself, is gonna be on the back for the fucking wallet. If he has a back pocket for his wallet. That is just like me. Yeah, that is it's like I don't have an ass, I have a wallet. That's literally all I have, and I always say
that's
that.
All
so
I'm sitting on right now, just his wallet.
Exactly. I cannot wait to make that character. Now if I make a female character, big bet that she's gonna look like Loba, and you guys who have played like Apex know the new Loba character model.
Yeah.
Yeah, all day. But yeah, like, you know, my character, first time through, male wise, that guy's gonna be hung like this and have a flat ass, just, you know, all day. And it's still gonna mac the girls. It's gonna be like, you know, Prince style. He's gonna be like 5'3" and just walk around just macking. But yeah, Cyberpunk, of course, we're all fucking excited for it. I will probably, assuming I go back to work before then, I will definitely be taking like days off to play this. Like, there's no question about it in my mind. I'm not going to be able to.
When is the release date again?
September 17th. September 12th.
That's
September
13 days after Tony Hawk. That's enough time to beat Tony Hawk.
Yeah. Double check chat. Does anybody know off the top of my head? It's like September 17th, I think, off the top of my head.
Something like I think it's definitely in September.
Yeah, I think it's September 17th. I was right. I found it.
Nice.
It's almost like I talk about this game like almost every fucking week.
It's a good game.
I cannot fucking wait. I'm a huge Witcher fan. I'm a huge RPG person. Like this combines, like, this is, to me, this is a modern day, even, like, it's not even the fact that it's Witcher. For those of you guys that have been in the PC game for a while, this is even a more so modern Deus Ex to me, because we have the Deus Ex games, but like, this is Witcher meets Deus Ex, and I love Deus Ex. One of my long-time original games, RPGs that I played and loved, FPS RPGs, and I cannot fucking wait for it. It's just, I don't know. I'm about to get all like worked up over here. Anyways, moving right along outside of Cyberpunk penises. Fortnite. Both of our favorite games. But realistically, it is something that we talk about here every once in a while because it is in our industry. It is what it is.
It's inescapable is what it is.
Yeah, it's inescapable. But they do have their new party mode, the Party Royale. It is that exactly.
I honestly think the Party Royale seems really fun.
And that's the thing. I think the Party Royale by itself, I think the Party Royale more than anything, just speaking as myself, not having read this, I think this is what will make, even if and when BRs die out, even when this current generation of kids is like, oh, Fortnite isn't cool anymore because they're growing up with it. This is what the Party Royale type of thing is what's going to make it last, because you are giving all those people that are in your game now a place to hang out and just kind of go in and like almost like, you know, you have the novelization of like Ready Player One and all that, and like even the movie, but it's like it's almost developing into like those things that we see in sci-fi novella where you want to hang out with your friends MMO wise
It's like
or whatever.
VR chat.
Yeah, exactly, like a VR chat type of thing. But
Yeah,
I mean,
you
the
just
Fortnite
go
has
into a lobby
Yeah.
and hang out.
yeah, and that's
you
what I
can't do it in
see.
real life.
Yeah, and you know, but Fortnite has enough player base as is, and it's growing with the younger generation as is. They're going to be even better than like the VR chats and all that we have right now, which are great and have a great, you know, user base as is. But I see this whole thing probably being more Fortnite's legacy in the long run than the BR itself. You know, because they're already leaning that way with the concerts, the things like that. Like, you know, eventually, you know, don't get me wrong, like Fortnite's fun, the BR and all that, but there's a lot of people, even like pro-wise, that are already like steering away from it and everything. The BR and the BR fad will phase out. As somebody who loves BRs, I think this is what's going to make the game. This is what's going to be its legacy. That's my hypothetical. You know, personally, the Party Royale that they have released. You know, the concerts right now. It has you know, for those of you guys that don't know officially, it has no weapons or materials. It's literally just a hangout spot. It is a chat room with your characters. Has right now like 3 revolving DJs. And all that kind of fun stuff. And that's where they're going to also host, probably moving forward, the concerts like they've had recently. We've talked about those, and in the future they'll hold them in like this mode. That being said, the main thing that I was joking about and that I was referencing is that in the official trailer from Fortnite, you actually have Kirby, which is, you know, we all know and love Kirby. Kirby is OP in Nintendo lore. He is, you know, Kirby can win everything.
He's Kirby.
Yeah, he's
like,
fucking Kirby. Like you cannot kill him. He is literally
he's
like
terrifying.
Yeah, he can beat anything. Like there's a reason in the recent Smash that he didn't die. Like he's fucking Kirby. He cannot be killed.
One dick. When you're playing Smash with your friends, there's always that one asshole that picks Kirby, and you're like, come on, like we're trying to play fair.
Yeah, it's
like,
it's Kirby. Kirby is
fucking Kirby.
Kirby is ingrained. Kirby is the One Punch Man, as you know, the Goku, the Superman. Kirby is that in like the video game world. Like it is what it is. It's Kirby. You know, he can take on any powers. He cannot be killed. You know, he's indestructible. But it's funny that he's in the actual official trailer, but he's blurred out in both the Xbox and PlayStation reveals of the trailer on their like YouTubes and things like that. So the Xbox and PlayStation versions do not have it. So I can show you like the difference here. So he is actually, as opposed to the actual like image and all that where he is in this is just screen caps of the reveal trailer. But he is like blurred out there in the Xbox and PlayStation versions, and Nintendo themselves haven't actually released this thing on their YouTube, whereas, you know, Xbox and PlayStation have. So the curious thing about it is whether or not Fortnite actually had permission to use Kirby in their video, which makes me, and the reason that also
I feel like they might have gotten permission, but I feel like the reason he's blurred on the other ones is because Nintendo's like, fuck the other consoles.
Yeah. But it's like
Maybe.
interesting that Nintendo doesn't also have this video up themselves. You think that they would?
Well,
Like-
Nintendo's a little bit like Sony. They really fall short when it comes to releasing things properly.
Yeah. But I mean, on the social, the company side
is
of it, though,
weird.
they're really
It
good.
is-
Like
it
it's
is
very,
weird.
it's weird.
Like, why wouldn't Nintendo, as bankrupt and low on money as they are, why would Nintendo fly on the skirts of Fortnite? If Fortnite wanted to use Kirby,
Yeah.
they'd be like, hell yes, put us at the very front of your promo for it. Like,
Yeah. And the funny thing is that actually I saw that last year Nintendo made a picture featuring Kirby, and it had a Fortnite picture in it, or a Fortnite logo in the background of that. And it ended up being taken down, almost like they didn't have permission. So there's a really weird
really weird.
relationship that the two of them have, and I'm not quite sure what it is. Like, and I almost feel like it's like one developer on each side of the fence going, "Hey, we're gonna put this in," and they're just talking to each other, and the big companies are like, "Yeah, we can't do that." You know, like I
it's
don't
like
know.
two developers on opposite sides of the fence that are friends.
Yeah, it's like, hey,
And talking to each other, and the
yeah.
other companies are like, "What the hell's going on?"
Yeah, I'll send you the JPEG for Kirby. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, and then also it's like here's our motion cap for it. Like they're just sending it through fucking Gmail, and I don't know. It's weird and it's interesting. The Party Royale trailer by itself. Here, hold on. I'll actually load it up here because it's only 50 seconds. For those of you guys that do Fortnite, I don't hate on Fortnite. It's just not for me, but it does have its, just like we talked about with this, the Party Royale mode.
I just love the co-op mode instead of the BR. The save the
the
world. I love
yeah,
Save
the
the World
PvE
so
PvE mode was great. I love the PvE
I
mode.
love it. Like, I would still play it, but none of my
I
friends
wish
do
it got
anymore.
pushed. Yeah. But I mean, it's a hangout.
It's literally just like an open world hangout spot.
Yeah.
It's really dope.
Which is what a lot of even MMOs, like, they have that. Now, what they need to build in, what I think, if they do this, and here's almost like a, these are like see, Premiere.
Oh, figures. Yeah.
Weird. What I think they need to build into this, personally, is this needs to be your lobby. If they really want to make this, the Party Royale is Fortnite.
Yeah.
And make it like, turn this into like an MMO type of thing where Party Royale, you load up Fortnite, you click play Fortnite, you load up into Party Royale. Like, and then that's the main draw of this game, like, moving forward. And I could see this being a thing in a couple of years. And then you want to go play the Battle Royale with your friends. You party up, you meet with them there, and then you walk over to just like an MMO or whatever, or you queue up
Like a
from there.
teleporter or
Yeah, a
something.
teleporter
Yeah.
to the BR mode.
queue up
or
for
you,
BR. Yeah.
you want to play the whatever, the Save the World
Save
mode.
the world.
You go over here, you teleport to that or whatever. But you have now a general, almost like Ready Player One lobby of, make this a 2,000 person lobby, an MMO, make this an MMO lobby. And I would love to see if they do this.
Yeah.
Hats off, like Fortnite has it, and they are, I could see, like, feel free.
If they do it right, they'll be like the game gods.
Yeah,
for a
exactly.
while.
And they will. And I
And
think
they
that's
have been for a while, so it's like,
yeah, so you build
could
into
totally
this.
do it.
Yeah, you hang out in the lobby, and then it's like, hey, we're ready to go. From this, we're ready. You guys want to go play a BR? Yeah, sure. Fuck it. We want to go to, and then you just
walk
kind of
into the
queue
little
up.
door.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You teleport over or whatever, and yeah, you do that. You can queue up from the start menu, or you could do that. Like, that's what I want to say. Not just the legacy of this mode itself, but that's really what they can do with this, is like really take it to that almost like what we only have seen in MMO levels right now. But like Destiny has the tower, and it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I almost wish Destiny had a potential to do that even better. But you have the tower where you can buy cosmetics, you can do this and that and get quests. Like, I could really see if they do this right, they combine that PvE element, which was great in Fortnite. The Save the World edition was the original draw of the game, was the original style of the game. And they
That's
could
where the building
really
comes from.
Yeah, exactly. And they could really they could really do something and really just put their mark on. I mean, either way, their mark is on this generation of gaming. I'm not saying that like they are, but I just feel like
they could just like really drive it home.
Yeah, and I think like even moving forward in the next generation is more kind of maybe what I'm saying. Different featured games. Be like, hey, whatever, and then you go and you hang out. Because honestly, in this generation, which I wouldn't maybe always do it because I'm antisocial, whatever. But there's a lot of these younger kids and all that they do that either way, and they're doing these concerts and they're hanging out and they're grouping up. Like I could see them hanging out and just talk to people and dancing, doing their little floss dance or whatever. It's like, hey, you want to party up and go do a BR together? Yeah, sure. And then you go, walk through the door and do that. I don't know, like.
It would be really sweet if they pulled it off like that. It would also be really sweet if I could get my friends to play Save the World again with me. It was so fun. You just go do little missions and you can. They're like open world, but they're like they have a border. So yeah.
I remember Save the World was fun.
It was so fun.
It really was.
$40 for that game.
Yep, I remember. I don't even know if it transfer. Does Save the World transfer over on like PC or whatever? I had it on like Xbox. I don't know.
I have it on Xbox.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyways, moving right along from that topic to other stuff. We're getting into the things that JoJo is going to love to talk about. But rumor mill wise for this week, last couple of things. But rumor mill, if you guys haven't heard or seen, rumors of Diablo 2 remaster coming out. Main reason that it is still unconfirmed, but there is kind of credit to it, just because the same person who is releasing this rumor also pre-released the same platform that released this rumor, also pre-released the information about Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 itself. So they
not a very credible source.
Yeah, they've been like, hey, we're ahead of the game on these other Blizzard things. So we'll see. Obviously Diablo 2, huge game for me. Played it back in the day. Talked about it a lot. Charlie and I have talked about it. There's a lot of you guys out there that were PC back in the day. That it was an amazing thing. That being said, if it is a reality, we'll see. I really, really hope that it is better than the Warcraft 3 remaster. It's supposed to be being developed by, sorry, I neglected to say, the Destiny 2, like the support studio that works on Destiny 2 along with Bungie. So that same studio is supposed to be making this. But I really hope if they actually have a Diablo 2 remaster in the works, besides just a rumor, it's unconfirmed. But if this actually is a thing, I really hope that it's better than the Warcraft 3 remaster. And that's 100% Crimson. It's really hard to be worse than the Warcraft 3 remaster. But I just hope it's not the same level. I mean, saying it's better than the Warcraft 3 remaster leaves a lot of room. So I really hope.
Vicarious Visions is also the one that's doing the Tony Hawk remaster.
Well, there you go.
And did the Crash Bandicoot remasters.
Yeah.
So if they're the ones rumored to do this Diablo 2 remaster, it might be really good.
I'm hoping. I'm fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Like I said, I love Diablo 2. It was, one of the games, if everybody remembers, the cow level. Like, I mean, there's so much.
Are you offline?
I don't think so. It still says live on my end.
Oh, now it does. I think it crashed for a sec.
Oh, I would say I didn't see anything on my thing.
Maybe Mixer did. Oh, well.
Oh, nope. Everything's coming back through with AutoHost. Yeah, it had to be. I never saw anything on my end that said I wasn't live, guys. So, yay, Mixer.
It was probably a Mixer. Yeah.
Yay, Mixer. As far as my side said, I was always live. Refresh.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm just going to stand here and wave for a second. Yeah, I didn't even, normally if I go offline my side, it'll be offline reconnecting. And I was like, yeah. Yay, Mixer. Anyways. But yeah, I really hope that it's a thing. I would love to replay it, and I hope that they do it well if it is effective. Yay, Mixer screwing my stream and losing us 100 people. Yay. Anyways, how did you never play Diablo 2? And that's also another thing with JoJo. Do you never play Diablo 2?
I never played any Diablos ever. I wasn't really into dungeon crawlers, really. And I still kind of I'm not like ant. I was gonna say ant. Still kind of.
I'm not an ant.
Like, you know, Path of Exile, Binding of Isaac, even kind of is like a dungeon crawler. Diablo. I've never really played any of those kinds of games. I do see the appeal in them, so I wouldn't be opposed to it. It's just something that I literally never dabbled in.
Yeah.
It's not that I avoided it, just me and my group of friends didn't sway that direction.
Yeah. It's Binding of Isaac is more like the roguelike. Diablo 2, I agree with Outlaw. It did really set the bar. And I would say 90, 99, 98. I feel like the original came out probably 2001 or 2. Lord of Destruction came out. Let's see. Diablo 2 release date. 2000. So that's what I said. Like, it was about that time, and then the expansion, because back before we had DLC, guys, we had things called expansions.
Yeah, expansions.
So they had Lord of Destruction, which is a whole new act. No, that's not it. Lord of Destruction. Yeah, that was 2001. A year later.
Yeah, see, I was still in high school. I didn't even have a computer back then.
See, I was
to game on.
I was so PC gaming by that point. Long before. Then again, I played the original. Yeah.
My parents got some crappy desktop computer, and they never even like let me use it. They had it password locked, and like, yeah, my parents were shitty.
Oh,
so I didn't get my first gaming computer until I was like 21, like I say 2010. And I used Nick's Alienware laptop.
Damn. So that being said, just catching up with chat. One, roguelike, and answer to you, Jojo, and chat, and anybody else who does a roguelike is like Binding of Isaac. It's like what are the Wizards games where you are above and it randomly generates every time you go into a dungeon, randomly generates the whole map. Just pretty much every time you go down. Whereas like Diablo and all that, unless you were online, you went into a map area and it was kind of the same setting. It changed for multiplayer, but the map was the same, you know. Roguelike, you go in with a certain set of abilities, and normally most roguelikes you load in and you can pick certain abilities and all that. That's very traditional of like roguelike, but it will randomly, you start off in like a lobby, then it will randomly generate the dungeon every time. It will never be the same. Whereas Diablo and all that is a true like dungeon crawler where, unless you're online, because those are separate lobbies, but if you're in your single player experience, it is the same map throughout the dungeon. Like it randomly loads you one, but the map is the same every time.
Is like Risk of Rain? I know they turned Risk of Rain into like a third person, but
I haven't.
Isn't that kind of like
I haven't played
like
it, but I
roguelike?
feel like it's roguelike from what I've seen, where every level is different. No matter how many, every time you
like
play
so
it,
many
it's
levels,
constantly
but they
different.
are randomly thrown in a different order every time you load in.
Yeah, it's a it's
roguelike
procedurally.
platformer.
Yeah, every.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I would say like from what I've seen, it's roguelike where it just randomly generates the level every time.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, no, I was the same way. I had PCs back growing up. We talked about it a lot of times. So I grew up PC gaming. So this is right on par. I grew up with Diablo. I remember having, the even original Diablo expansion and playing it. So I am excited for that. There was something else I was about to say with chat. Oh, Minecraft Dungeons for action RPG. I will 100% play that with you, because honestly, that looks fucking fun, dude. Like that's
me and Outlaw, all of my friends, they're all excited.
I will be playing.
I'm excited because it's Minecraft, but I'm also excited because it just genuinely looks like a version of Diablo that I would
Diablo
enjoy.
With Minecraft,
yeah, and I'm so excited, and the fact that it is that style makes my friends all want to play it because they're not huge Minecraft fans, but they are super. They're probably even more excited for the dungeons than I am.
Yeah, I
So
don't
I'm
care
just
about the
like,
Minecraft, or
okay.
whatever, but I'm excited because it's
Yeah.
to me, it's a new Diablo, which, I mean, and I've played, what is it? You guys that also are ARPG person will be able to tell me. There's, Torchlight. Torchlight was
Oh, Torchlight.
pretty fun. Torchlight was like
I wanted to try Torchlight, but
not
I
a
never
kid's
did.
version of Diablo, but it was, you know, Torchlight
Yeah.
is probably the only other one, in my opinion, that really was Diablo-esque. You do have like Path of Exile and things like that, but those those took a different turn than the original Diablo did. Torchlight, I feel, is a true, almost spiritual successor. Path of Exile and all that. Van Helsing is another one that's spiritual. Path of Exile, I kind of have an issue with. It is a spiritual successor, but it kind of does its own thing. Also, like, you could see inspiration from the style of game from Diablo, but like Path of Exile and there's another one starts with a P as well. But they're similar. They definitely draw their inspiration, but they're different. Vulcan, yeah, we just saw Vulcan's another one that just came out, so that style as well with the Diablo style. And I love those style of games, so I can't wait. But yeah, Minecraft Dungeons, I will be
It comes out in like 2 weeks.
yeah, something like that. It's early June, if I remember, like
My
June
body is ready.
June 6th or something like that. I can't remember the exact
I
date.
thought it was earlier than that.
I thought it was early June. I don't think it's May. I could be wrong, but I think it's. Is it really? I don't, because I didn't
May
see it on.
26th.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, yeah. So yeah, 2 weeks. All right.
Yeah, just under 2 weeks, 12
Yeah.
days.
I say, because I always check like upcoming, especially when I do the web show. I always remind myself of what upcoming games are coming out. But yeah, I'll be playing that hardcore, and I don't fucking play Minecraft. And the only bad thing about playing that is I'm gonna be playing it, I'm gonna be streaming it, and a lot of Minecraft kids are gonna be in your stream because it's Minecraft
probably.
for the first like day or two until they realize.
They realize what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And
It won't be bad though. Like even when I do stream a lot of Minecraft, as long as I would say like there's peak hours obviously for the kids, but if you stay in 18 plus, it usually isn't that bad.
Yeah.
It usually is not that bad.
I
would probably get like 1 or 2 an hour maybe that I just time them out for 10 minutes and then they forget I exist, you know. So
that's good.
girl anyway.
Yeah.
That's my experience.
Yeah, that's my only like worry about doing it, is because I'm like, okay, it's gonna be Minecraft, so that first day or two might be a little. It's like, I was playing
for a while.
Yeah,
So
it's like Diablo 2 is older than you are, and Diablo 2 is like, I can't wait to be like that. Yeah, I enjoy kids. I like kids, and kids like me. I just don't put up with them, especially online.
no.
I could deal with kids for like small timed increments. Very small, very small.
They're cool.
I'm a great adult. I'm a great adult. Or not an adult, great uncle. That's what I wanted to say. I'm a great uncle.
Yeah.
All right. Moving right along to the last couple things. Gaming wise, of course, big updates this week, both to Apex and Valorant. We'll cover these very quickly, just because also, you know, Jojo doesn't have much to say about them, but I know, of course, chat, a lot of you guys and all that do as well.
I just don't know what it is.
Yeah,
so.
she's just like, she doesn't play. No, which is fine.
I don't know anything about Apex, but I do actually know some stuff about the Valorant stuff. So.
And there's a little bit about Valorant. You know, I was going to talk about the patch and that. But, you know, there's like a little bit of newsworthy stuff about it. But for those of you guys, for whatever reason, if you're under a rock, that are Apex people, obviously, Season 5 did launch. Brought a lot of new stuff to it. We played it a little bit last night on my side on the stream. New character Loba. Lot of fun new abilities to her. Just briefly running through them. Her tactical burglar's best friend is a teleport. So pretty much what she does is she takes off her little wrist ring bracelet and she throws it. And then whenever it lands, or if you press a button, it'll drop down. Wherever it lands, she'll teleport to it. And then she puts it back on, and Loba's thick. Like, let's be like, this picture doesn't do her justice, like, in-game. I could load up right now, like, Loba's bae. Like, she's...
Picture.
She's sexy. Like, the character model, even in game, like when she does certain finishing moves and she's like staring back at you and just kind of doing that little like yeah, she could finish me any day. Anyways, but yeah, so the teleport is kind of cool. Has a very decent yeah, exactly, it really is. Very good range to it. Disciple and I were playing like last night together. Pretty large range to it. Not a bad cooldown. I'm worried that I'm annoyed that the Chappie nerf, and we'll get to that in a second, like the movement ability. This is a huge movement capability. Does have a big noise proponent to it. So if you guys haven't played her, there is a noise proponent to it. So you can hear if she's teleport. You can even hear when she's throwing, like the bracelet like makes a noise, because it is like this weird sci-fi thing that like whoa, 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 kind of like fucking noise when she throws it out. But there's an audio and visual cue to it, so once you see it once, you'll know. So as long as you're paying attention, as long as you're cognizant, she's not going to get a drop on you and be able to like teleport behind you. It is a thing, but it does give a lot of mobility, and she can get out of places and really maneuver quite well with that. Her ultimate is called Black Market Boutique. You place a portable device that allows you to teleport nearby loot to your inventory. What that is, she places down her little bow staff with the quarter staff with the wolf on top of it, and all the loot after a couple seconds in an area, it brings out an area on your mini map. All the loot that's in that area is accessible through a menu. You just activate the staff. So you just click on it and you go,
nice.
Hey,
so she doesn't have to run around to pick up stuff.
Exactly. Nobody does. Even your whole team. So all three of them can activate. Your whole team can activate the staff. They can like she casts it.
So basically, I'm gonna have to start playing Apex, and she's my new main.
Yeah. So she's also the main thing is like Dee just said in chat. It's only 2 items per person. So you pop that in the middle of an area that's unlooted. You can be like, hey, I want this and this. It only lets you take 2. So if there is more stuff that you want, you still have to run around, but this is how you can be like, hey, I want to make sure I get this legendary and this, whatever, this purple, this gold, whatever. Or I need, even if you need ammo or something, you could be like, fuck, I need ammo. Is there any around? And pop her ultimate and fucking drop it. It also works, guys, so it does work with death boxes as well. So if death boxes, people have died nearby, and you want to kind of scoop up the loot from that rather than going through every individual death box, which also has been updated, the interface for that. Some people don't like it. I'm on the fence. I haven't played much Apex even in the last couple months, so I wasn't like hardcore invested in the current model. So even still, it took me a second to get back into it. I could see the new visualization of it being effective. I think it will just take some getting used to, but we'll see how it plans out. But it is nice that you could drop it if there's a bunch of people that are dead around. Rather than going through each individual box to see what they had, you just pop that bad boy down and be like, I'll take that, which is kind of cool. And then her Eye for Quality is her passive, which is no matter what, she can see within a range. I don't know what exactly the range is, but it's pretty decent. She can see through walls any legendary or epic items, any purple or gold items. She can see them through walls, so she can just beeline for that shit and just run around.
Awesome.
Yeah, which is pretty much like I was joking with Dee yesterday.
Oh, it says the range is the same as her ultimate.
Yes. Yeah. So which isn't small. It's not big, but it's not small either. So it's a decent range. We were joking with D yesterday. I could be like, hey, D, where should I be going? Like, if we're running around looking for loot. And he could be like, oh, there's a purple over there. Like, in like, pink. And I was like, meanwhile, D is probably, like, running for the gold over in this fucking building that he sees, that I was running towards initially. I would be that troll, though, too. Be like, hey, go over there. There's a purple. And, make somebody turn. Meanwhile, they were running for a gold, just to fuck with them, and, yeah, because I'm an asshole. But yeah, one of the other big things, they updated King's Canyon, which is the original map. So that now has been updated, is live for the next 2 weeks. A couple of the big things besides just the map updates, you have to just kind of see it to understand. Skulltown is gone. Thunderdome is gone. All kind of fell into the water. Charge towers are kind of a cool thing. And I think that they're going to be rotating, it seems, because there's only like one or two. And I did see a couple other places where there could be them on the map. What they are, for lack of a better term, guys, charge towers are a new thing where your team, as long as they're in the orb, you go up, you activate, you press a button in the game, and it automatically charges your ultimate for your whole team. Everybody in your range, so you don't have to wait, which is, you know, really cool. I don't think all of them are active at the beginning. I feel like they're going to rotate which ones are active during certain times. I could be wrong. Disciples play a little bit more hours now since we initially did, but I've noticed some are like underground still and can't be activated. So I feel like maybe like every day, like some will change, like that kind of like daily change and map type of thing. I feel like that might be what's going on. Legend updates. Mirage totally redesigned. Mirage is viable, which is always awesome because spiritually I'm a Mirage. I just never liked playing him, but he is definitely me. He's the sarcastic, you know, smart ass, pretty boy, narcissistic, whatever, which, you know, that doesn't fit me, but he's a lot of fun. He makes terrible jokes. I don't know. I always liked Mirage personality wise. Tactical, his psych out. A lot of it pretty much, for those of you guys, if you remember the Dummies Big Day event that they had, that limited time mode event that they were trying out, pretty much all those abilities are now Mirages. That was pretty much a mode designed to rework Mirage as a character because he wasn't viable. His tactical is psych out, where he throws out a clone. Now it will mimic him, whereas before it just went out in a straight line and ran and was a fucking idiot, and you could tell.
Remember that.
Yeah, you could tell that it was Mirage. It's like, oh hey, that's the decoy. Now you throw it out and you could press a button after you throw it out for a little ways, that way it's not right next to you, but after you activate it again, I don't know what the button is on like PC, but you activate it again in a way after it goes out however far you want in a straight direction, and then it will mimic all your actions. So once you activate again, it will crouch, jump, move to the right, move to the left, whatever. It just pretty much mirrors you just in this direction 100 yards, which is kind of cool. And now it lasts 60 seconds, which is huge. It makes his tactical super viable, I think, because even you could throw that out. It's 60 seconds. So even if you're not quite in a fight, you could throw that out. Think there's somebody. You could have that. You
could throw that to initiate fights.
Yeah, you could just do it and just fuck around and see where people are.
Smoke the other team.
Yeah, exactly. Like it lasts for 60 seconds. So until somebody shoots it, it's up just fucking around. It's mimicking every one of your movements.
Yeah,
for
and if somebody shoots it, then you know where they are.
Then you know where they are. Like it is. Yeah. This is a huge buff and redesign, and I think it's very well deserved because the first, the original was,
I agree. I remember the original, and I was just like, this is the dumbest character. Like the decoy in the original design, you would throw it out, and more times it would get you killed than actually help you.
Yep. Yeah, it's like, oh, I saw where the direction it came from.
Oh, the decoy is running that way?
Running this way?
So
okay, Mirage is over here. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It was dumb. It just ran straight away from you.
Yep. So his ultimate also has been redesigned to really emulate the emergency dance party. Which is, it spawns a team of decoys. I think it's like 6 or 7, literally around you. 6 or 7 Mirages around you. You go cloak.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, no, what it is. This was something they did during the Dummies Big Day, and that's why I thought his ultimate. It's you go cloak, but all of the dummies around you. Well, actually, I don't know. Do you go cloak now as well? I think you go cloak for a second when you activate it. But then you come out of cloak. But then literally, like, it's 7 or 8 dummies around you that all emulate you. So, and they all run out of things. So, literally, you have no idea which one is the Mirage. There's literally, like, 8 Mirages around you, all shooting. Like, some of them don't do damage, but they crouch, they jump, they all emulate your actual movement. Like I said, this is huge update buff to Mirage that is very well needed. And also his passive got changed. In addition to being cloaked when downed, which is what his passive was before, which, you know, got a buff a while back and it is better. But now also he cloaks while respawning people. So if I'm reviving, if Jojo, you go down and I'm playing Mirage, if I'm reviving you, we're both cloaked. now.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
enemy teams can't see. They can hear it still, but you're like, where the fuck is this revive happening? And also whenever he's using a respawn beacon, he is cloaked. So you can't see him using the respawn, and people jumping in, I think, might be cloaked. Somebody said. I'm not sure about that part. But when he's using a respawn beacon and when reviving a teammate, they are cloaked.
That's really awesome. That's like super helpful.
I think it was okay. So just yeah, he was the one who told me that. He might have been wrong. But you know, that's we'll see. I haven't seen. I haven't like gotten to play, and I haven't been in the scenario. But we could be right or wrong. A couple other design changes, but those were like the main ones. Just kind of changed timing wise. For a lot of these, for weapon updates, a lot of the other big thing was the Mastiff and the Peacekeeper. Pretty much swapped. So Mastiff is no longer a care package weapon, a game package weapon. It is now a drop. It is now the Peacekeeper is a care package weapon. Either way, that being said, the Mastiff is still strong as fuck, even with all of the nerfs that they applied to it. All, you know, if you guys want to read the patch notes, I can link them in there. I'm not going to go through every one, but it's still super strong, just like the PK was. I personally think both of these shotguns need to be I think both of them need to be taken out of the game. Honestly, I think a potential for a one-shot kill item that is so prominent, besides a sniper rifle, is just way too much in a BR setting. I don't know, just the way that is. I'm okay with like the EVA 8 shotgun. I'm okay with the Beak, like the Mosin Beak if they power it up. I think the PK the Beak. The PK and the Peacekeeper and the Mastiff, I think, need to just be vaulted from the game, or make both of them a care package that, you know, revolves. I don't know. I don't think either of them are.
You think they're too strong?
I think they're too strong. I think both of them just give too much.
I mean,
whether early
I barely
game
played Apex, and I'm garbage at it, and I was fucking kids up with the Peacekeeper.
Yeah, and that's
like
the thing.
First couple weeks the game is out.
Yeah, and, you know, it's the same thing. It needs to be like, they need to be legendary, like hard loot.
I mean, it's a good ass gun, but
Yeah.
I could see what you mean. Like the way that Apex works, your penalty for dying and that being a one-shot kill, it's a little tipping.
One or two
little
shot
tipping
kill
to one side of the scale.
Yeah, and then 90% of the lobby has it. You know, it's way too common.
It's
like
way too common. Yep.
You know, make it one of those things that's legendary. Like, okay, moving the Peacekeeper to the care package was great. Like, and I think that was viable. Why did you bring the Mastiff? Like, now we're running into the same issue. You just swapped the name of it. You know, the Peacekeeper moving to the care package was good because the Peacekeeper was too strong. Now the Mastiff, which was a care package weapon, now they reduced the damage, but they dropped down. Like, it's still.
Hopefully, even though they took it out of the care package and reduced the damage of it, hopefully they reduced the spawn rate of it. So.
Yeah, but they didn't. They pretty much all they did was swap PK and Mastiff. As much as you found the PK in game, now you're finding the Mastiff. Everybody's running around with a Mastiff from what I saw yesterday. It's just. I think both need to either be care package or just get rid of one of them from the game. Maybe just get rid of the Mastiff. Make the Peacekeeper the only, you know, shotgun that's at that level, and make it a care package only, and then bring back the Mastiff like a limited time thing or something like that. I don't think, compared to everything else, it breaks the game in a lot of ways. Like there's one thing, it shouldn't be a thing if everybody is running that gun and everybody is getting 6-7 kills with it no matter what. Like, it's just, you know, and BRs, they should be striving, and a lot of them do strive to, there should be more than one loadout and all that, you know, depending on what your style is.
Outlier that you run for.
Yeah, you shouldn't you shouldn't have to run a certain gun to be viable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the
struggle with that really hard. Call of Duty struggle with that so hard, and I think it's still kind of does, actually.
Oh yeah, it does. It does. And you know, BRs definitely have a, and there's definitely ones that are more power. But I mean, even like you look at PUBG, which was, you know, almost, we could argue was the original. I know it's not, but it's the biggest original. But even at least that, you had, okay, do you want the M4 or do you want the AK? And you had your personal preference. At least there were choices. It wasn't like you have to run the M4 or you're gonna lose. And I feel like that's the issue that is coming into a lot of times with the PK. Like, not every time, but I'd say 75% of the time, you're going to lose to a Mastiff. You're going to lose to a PK. And it's just so fucking annoying.
I think reasons like this are why I really preferred the old BR before PUBG, the H1Z1.
Mm-hmm.
I really preferred that because there was 3 guns. There was a pistol, there was a AR, there was a shotgun. Like, that was it. They were all the same. No matter who had what, they were all the same. There was no like variations of them. There wasn't like 17 different assault rifles. And then there was a sniper that you could only get from a care drop. I think it just like really leveled the playing field. You had to have the skill to outdo the person standing next to you because you had the same gun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
and that's the thing, like, and like Disciple say, I can still wreck them with flatline. I'm not saying that. Like, there are those scenarios. I would argue the statistics overwhelmingly, everybody's running around with a Mastiff. Everybody's running around with this because there's no reason not to. And I was doing it too. I get it.
My favorite was the R301.
R301, yeah, R301 is the best like starter, like not even starter gun, but
just all around, I think it's my favorite.
It's a great gun. It's a great mid-range gun.
Both of the R's, though, they were my favorites.
Yeah, R99 I love more than I love the R301. I loved it on Xbox, especially when I came over to PC. R99 became my fave. I think the R99, once you learn the recoil and can control it, the R99 is definitely better than the R301. But the R301 has less recoil, is easier to control. So it's just like
the 301 have more range.
Kinda. I mean, it's because it's easier to control. It's the assault rifle. The R99 is the SMG. But I mean, the high end level of people, they can control the R99 at range just as well.
You can handle it.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then you get that fire rate of an SMG. So that's the thing. So, but the R301 is definitely, like, in my opinion, the best gun, especially if you're not great at the game. R301 should be your go-to. If you're not used to the game, R301 should be your gun. It is the most well-balanced gun. It's a fucking laser. It doesn't recoil. It's great. I love it. But, you know, once you get past that, R99 is bae. And the flatline has gotten a lot of buffs recently as well, to kind of make it viable also. They also brought back the Skull Piercer attachment from original season. They changed the modifiers. Yeah. Yep. So that's now back on the Wingman, which Yep. Back season, first season 1, season 2, which
I played before there was technically a season 1.
Yeah. True. Yeah. Season 1 or ranked or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it was ranked. So.
Well, they got rid of Skull Piercer, I think, at the end of official season 1 because it was too strong on the Wingman when they would nerf the Wingman.
Wingman. Yeah. Everything's strong for the Wingman.
Yeah. Well, they brought it back, but now it's not as much of a... It's not as bad as it used to be when they had it, of course. But I think arguably the same thing with, like, the flatline, them buffing it, everything else. The Wingman is the end of the Battle Pass, the legendary skin. So they had to make it... They wanted to make it something that you wanted to get.
Right.
Yeah. So they had to do something to buff the Wingman back up.
It for now until everybody unlocks that and then put it back down.
Yeah, then we'll get rid of the Skull Piercer again and it'll be fine. I looked at the season pass. I don't know. I did watch the Wingman skin. At first I wasn't impressed, but actually as you kill people it does get snazzy. And that's the thing. It's that morphing skin is what a lot of the battle pass skins are. It does look pretty cool, but overall, I don't know. We'll see if I get it. It's just I don't know how much I'm going to be playing it, so we'll see. But yeah, that's Apex. Valorant, of course. Here, hold on. There we go. There's the button. Valorant updates, patch notes, a lot of huge patches to Valorant, honestly, with the patch notes to go over. Also a lot of topics with, and I actually didn't link the patch notes and I realized that in our thing either before we talked about it, but Both controversy over the Vanguard thing has happened this past week, and they kind of renegotiated that. And also they have banned also a lot of cheaters, which is all fun. Their first big wave of bans has been struck Valorant wise, which obviously they have their anti-cheat system, which is good. And then, but even it logs if you are and getting around it. Their first wave of bans with roughly about 9,000 people have been banned. They have not said if it's an IP ban or like an account ban. Partly the reason they haven't even stated what exactly it is because they want it to last longer, which I perfectly understand. Like, you know, if you know that it's an IP ban, all right, you're going to run a VPN, whatever. So they said that it's not quite either of those. And eventually, you know, hackers are going to hack that are going to hack, you know, they're going to figure out a way around it, but they want to preserve that as much as possible. So, people have been saying that they have been banned. Multiple accounts have been banned on their account either way, which is good. And it might deter these people from getting it because they still have to now watch and get a new beta key from a Twitch drop, etc. It's still a hassle for them to do so, even on a new account. And it might be multiple accounts might still be locked. So it's good.
I got lucky with my Valorant. I had a Twitch stream up. Just had Summit on his channel because he's like the only one on Twitch I watch anymore.
Summit, yeah.
I love Summit.
Mm-hmm.
So I had him up and I've been watching him for like 6 hours and I still didn't get a drop. But then I got an email that said that I was offered a key. Like it was an email from Riot basically offering me a key. And I looked in my Twitch, it didn't come from a Twitch drop. So I think they just gave me one.
Hey, there you go.
I had no idea. So
come play Valorant.
I've not played it yet, but I'm probably going to install it after this.
We can go play Valorant. I'll play Valorant with you. Anti-cheat software. Of course, there's been a lot of... Personally, I don't have an issue with it, but there has been a lot of issues with it. I get it. Kernel side. Some people are more upset than others.
I had a lot of people approach me and be very upset about the Valorant. Someone in particular in my Discord is like ranting about it every day, that like a bunch of stuff on their computer just won't run because of the Vanguard and...
Yeah. Well, I mean, now you can disable it, which is good. And I could see that. Okay, so now whatever you're not running, so it is a kernel side thing, which I knew that it was going to be that before. So maybe I was just more aware. And since I was more into this game, I knew what it was going to be beforehand. So I get that.
I mean, I think those of us that have played a lot of Riot games before and know how really, really serious they are when it comes to cracking down on cheaters and stuff like that, I think those of us that knew that were kind of aware it was going to be heavy.
Yeah. And they even said, like, I don't know if they said it was gonna be kernel side, but the way when I was reading into it, when I used to talk about this game leading up to it, one of their things was their anti-cheat, and we talked about it, and I don't know, I'm pretty sure it said it was kernel side. So is that, so I get maybe the more casual side is what's more upset about this being present in that. But I could see, like you said, those people in the Discords, whatever, if it is causing issues with other games, now you're able to turn it off, but you cannot start, you know, Valorant until you restart your PC and load it back up, which is fine. I think that's a good compromise. I think, hey, you need to turn it off or whatever, that's fine, but you cannot play this until our system is active from startup.
People that I know were specifically having issues with their computer flat out overheating because their software that monitors their CPU temperature and speeds and all of that is being blocked by Vanguard. And like, no matter what they do, they can't even play Valorant because if they load it up, Vanguard shuts that down and then their CPU gets hot and they're just like, bullshit.
Well,
so they basically have to figure out another way to keep their CPU cool. Like, so if you built your CPU off of the cooling system that is run by a singular program that's blocked by Vanguard, you're fucked. You can't play it. Like, it's kind of, it's shitty, but like, it has to be that way because those programs have those insecurities in them.
Yeah.
So,
and that's one of those, like, you know, if I were said person, and I've said this in my stream also because other people have approached me with similar, not similar, but similar scenarios where, you know, they have to have this program running. That's one of those that maybe you know, reach out to, you know, Riot, because they want this game to be successful. They want to make sure that all these programs are able to run. Like, if this is a computer, you know, crashing program that you need to run like that or scenario, this program, you know, is a BIOS level, you know, operating fans, things like that, it should be a program that should be able to get through. I feel like they will work to find a compromise for it, unless it just is totally insecure. And then at that point, don't be mad at Riot for not using it. Maybe you should find another program to run. Because if Riot is like, this program is way too insecure for us to validate or even like find a common ground, I feel like you probably shouldn't be running that program either way. just saying, you know.
The program that this person that in my Discord was having an issue with was Afterburner, that controls all of their fans and temperatures.
But
Afterburner is being blocked by Vanguard, so they have to get a
But
new
even-
fan controller.
yeah, but even after, yeah, but that's a second market program. Like there are other ones that they, and I 100% get that you shouldn't have to find a different program. I get it. And I've said it, you know, I've talked about a couple different things about it before, but if, you know, I'm trying to speak not as a Riot fanboy or anything like, because I'm not like huge in League of Legends, but I just respect them as a company.
We played League of Legends for years.
Yeah.
We played the first four seasons, and then we just didn't touch it again. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we played a lot of it. I probably have $400 worth of skins
Yeah.
in that game. Like, I have a lot of stuff.
Yeah. No, and I get
So-
that. I get that also, Lefty. Like, Afterburner, I run it too as well. So I'm kind of curious, but I've never had that issue, which is what's weird. I have Afterburner on mine, and I use it to overclock that. So what I was about to say is, like, I feel...
Depends on your PC. And
yeah, and I feel like this is more a subjective thing than, and that's why I said and this is where my argument is coming from, where I feel like maybe if you reach out to Riot, they're not going to keep you from playing their game as long as that. Like Afterburner, I run it, I have the, what is it, the combustion or whatever for for the stress test and all. I have that. I have my GPUs overclocked. I have Afterburner. I run it. I'm curious. But, you know, that being said, like I said, even without Afterburner, that's the, you know, one of the biggest names for like overclocking and everything else in the program. There are other ways around it if you were really wanting to play this game. If there were insecurities, just, you know, not Afterburner, but other programs and all that. But it's weird that Afterburner for them is causing this issue because there's plenty of people that it isn't for. Case in point.
Yeah.
The anti-cheat running. So Flap, I've mentioned this before. Personally, I personally don't have an issue with it running at the kernel level because I would rather the anti-cheat run at the kernel level and prevent as many cheaters as possible in this game from loading up software after the thing goes up than that, because at the end of the day, Microsoft logs every one of your fucking keystrokes. Google, like, I mean, if you're worried about all your shit on your computer, if you're worried about all your shit on your computer being logged, it already is. I hate to break it to everybody. We talked about it last week, the week before. Like, I feel like this, for a lot of people, this is just like they're getting in on the hype of, and I'm not saying you in specific, Flap. I'm just talking about in general. A lot of people are getting in on the hype of, oh my God, they're monitoring us on a kernel level. Oh my God, this shouldn't be happening. That's already happening.
There's
You
a
know?
lot of games that also do that kernel level monitoring also, but they don't have the same problem that Valorant has, because Valorant took it and they went like, we're going to lock all that shit down. They just made it. Didn't they also, I think I was reading this article, it boots on startup instead of when you load the game, it boots when your Windows
Correct,
boots. So
and
that's
that's
why it's giving people the issue, because people have these programs that control their fan speeds and their CPU and their overclocking and all that stuff, and it's being shut down as soon as their computer boots up. So
yeah, and that's why it's
a lot
running
of-
from startup on the kernel level to prevent people loading these applications or anything before the game, which, like I said, I'm okay with. Like, and it's one of those that you have to find that middle ground, and like D said, there's ways, you know, unless you're running Linux and all that kind of stuff, or we're talking about the monitoring side of it, and I 100% get both sides of it. I really do. It's just one of those, like, personally, as me, I get really tired of cheaters and all that, and at the end of the day, I don't mind personally, and I know this is subjective, I don't mind if Valorant monitors my PC or Riot monitors my PC, because honestly, I trust Riot with my information probably more than I trust fucking Microsoft, and like I feel like their network is pretty fucking solid. I don't know, like I just, you know,
I mean,
it's all subjective.
It might be that crazy and lockdown and invasive, but it's working because they banned how many people? 9,000?
Yeah, 9,000, and this is also people that probably spent a while to figure out how to cheat in general, because this is not like, we're not talking like the Modern Warfare, like it's really easy to cheat. Like you have to take a couple extra steps already with Valorant to outsmart the Vanguard system, but it's still monitoring shit, and now they're realizing how these 9,000 people were getting around it, and now they're fucking banned, you know, and more than just like, not just straight IP and all that, you know. So I would rather that. I'd rather the game, you know, and at the end of the day, it's which side do you want to be on? And it's going to be a personal preference thing. Would you rather have no cheaters, or would you rather have more personal and security, anonymity, etc.? And like that's kind of like how Outlaw says. It's like, I trust any company with my computer info. They figure out how to steal all $3 in savings. That's kind of how I feel. Like I don't feel like there's anything. I mean, there is stuff, but at the same time, like any half decent hacker that's gonna hack into Riot could hack into my system in 0.25 seconds, and I know that, and that's just me being realistic. Like if said person,
But it's right.
Yeah, you know, it's like if said person wanted my shit, like, you know, and that's kind of like how I feel. It's like if somebody really wanted my stuff, it would take them half a second, you know.
Go through Vanguard to get it.
Yeah, exactly. They would be, it would be a lot easier for them.
To your stupid WPA2 network code.
Yeah, exactly. It would be really easy for them to do so. So, I personally, I don't have an issue with it. Like I said, there are issues. I think that this compromise of being able to shut it down is a good thing. The afterburner being an issue, that's weird, because I don't have that issue. So maybe, I'm not sure if it's afterburner or...
So I don't think it was necessarily afterburner. They basically said that, so Vanguard disabled their afterburner, which was fine when they're playing Valorant. But then they would go to play a game like Rainbow Six Siege, where it's really heavy on your PC. And afterburner, I guess they had their afterburner set to like do certain things when Siege loads up, and their Siege was just crashing constantly. They couldn't play Siege because Vanguard uninstalled their afterburner, but they couldn't reinstall afterburner until they uninstalled Vanguard.
But
so
even still, like, see, the argument there for me, and this is just me speaking on this specific scenario. I know, yeah, I know. I just, in that scenario, if that were the case, like, I understand that you have fan monitors and all that you can monitor up in here. But me as a computer person, like, you could also do that stuff in BIOS really easily. Why are you relying on a piece of software once your operating system and all that is open?
As tech savvy and doesn't know all of that.
Yeah.
There's also other programs that can do that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's other programs like, yeah, I know, and that's what I say. Like, some fan controllers definitely require software and all that, but I mean, a lot of that stuff, like, you can be like, hey, if, like, I just don't see why. I just don't see the big issue. Like, there's a lot of ways that even if that's an issue, if you really want to play the game, it would take me 2 minutes of just restarting my computer and just adjusting my BIOS, which I know not everybody can do. I 100% know that, and I'm not even 100% tech savvy. But I also feel, rather than hating the game or whatever, I feel like a 5-minute Google search would solve all that. Like, and that's kind of maybe more where I'm going with this, which is rather than hating the game just because it's not working for you.
Convenience, but it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's like, just take 5 minutes to, you know, be like, oh, hey, I'm having this, because I have to do that. I get it. I don't hate the game. Shit, fucking Apex wouldn't work for me when it first launched, but guess what? I fucking figured out how to make it work, and then, you know, after a while, I did hate the game until they updated it, but that was because it was a software to hardware issue with my 2080 Ti. But, you know, I don't automatically go, oh my god, this game is terrible because I can't run it. Like, and that's kind of where I'm going. But, you know, like I said, it's I think that this is a good common ground they have right now where you can disable it if you like, you know, or if you need to for other games and all that.
I think that was what they needed when it first came out. They needed the ability to just turn it off when you're not, you know, playing the game.
Yeah, when you're not playing the game, turn it off. But if you do want to play the game, you have to have it activated, and that's perfectly fine from start. You have to restart your computer. Yep. And I think this is
good common ground.
Yeah, exactly. This was what it should have been when it came out. Okay, they figured out, hey, we need this in play. All right, cool. You know, it works. I think
it really boils down to people that they don't understand that it has to be that way, or the game will be unplayable if it's not as invasive and cracked down as it is.
Yeah, because there's so many.
Imagine if those 9,000 people were in every game that you joined, and you had wall hacks and people shooting through.
If Valorant wasn't as invasive, Vanguard wasn't as invasive, there's that 9,000 would be 100,000. You know, it would be Modern Warfare. You know,
but 9,000 is still a really big number.
Honestly, the fact that they're only banning 9,000 speaks to me personally that the system is working. Because after a month and a half, the fact that they're only banning or only getting rid of 9,000 people with how many people are playing this game realistically right now, that tells me that the system is fucking working. You know?
Yeah, it's definitely working. And you know it's working because they won't talk about why it's working. So they won't tell you what kind of bans they are or anything. So
yeah. I suspect have fan purpose against the issue. Okay, I can see that for specific games and all that kind of stuff. But like, you know, just not gonna read it all out. But you know, that's another thing that I feel like Lefty, you and I are probably on a different level. Where if you also have fan profiles and all that for specific games, you also probably know how to work around that in that scenario.
Maybe.
You know, I feel like if you're even like halfway competent enough to have fan profiles for certain games and all, or even like the software, okay, when Rainbow Six or when certain things are running, because even like a basic software that says, hey, most basic, you know, yeah, exactly. Just fucking crack it open, you're good. You know, most things, even on the basic level, say, hey, we're running at this temperature. We're going to adjust fan speed to this amount, even if we're just going to that, which is something you can do in BIOS. But even if you're just going software wise, you're okay. I am 100%, I'm at 80%, or I'm at this temperature. I need to buff the fan up to 90% or 100%. I feel like, even on the software side, if that software isn't running it, I feel like most people that even are doing that to begin with understand enough to tweak it to make it work. You know, that's what I said. Like, even if you're on that level to begin with, I feel like you're competent enough to be like, hey, all right, for whatever reason, this profile isn't working because of this. I don't know. Like, you know, I'm not hating it, but I feel like once you cross that certain...
at all, because I must be a basic bitch. I just put lots of fans in there and set them all at max speed, and I'm sure they just do their job. Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah, that's right. Like, mine's like, bro, like mine, actually, I can't...
there, and I'm like, y'all just be as cold as you can, and everything will be fine.
Like, mine throttles some of that. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I think it's more people being upset is more a lack of knowledge of what's going on and all that, and that's
surprise.
Yeah,
that's it. You know,
and that's why I said I think a majority of the people that were upset are more the people that are more casual and didn't realize what this actually is, and that's why I said like a lot of people are upset that it's monitoring everything from a kernel side and all that. I'm like, but your computer and everything is as is monitoring all that. So. And I think that's what people are scared of, that it's almost like spyware because of the new thing. But people don't realize that we have 17 different forms of spyware on your PC already. Like, you know, on the same level of that. And, you know, it's the same people that go, oh, why does such and such program need 2 megabytes here? You know, those same people that question every little tiny update, you know, when an app installs on your phone, why does it need access to your files? Well, because it's a fucking app. You know, like, you know, that, you know, and I get it. I'm not hating on it, but I get it. I just think it's a lack of knowledge thing that I think of people, same as with generally everything in life. If you took 5 minutes to research, you might have an answer. Maybe. But Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like, Riot, at the end of the day, I'm not worried about them stealing my stuff, or whoever hacks Riot could easily have hacked me in general. Like,
Right. If you're hacking into Valorant, I'm not safe.
yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not worried about that. Same thing with like Sony. It's like, I'm not worried. Like, oh, when all those hacks happen, like, it sucks that Sony's, but at the end of the day, like, okay, you guys say, like, I watch Cornhub on my phone all the time. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I have OnlyFans as a bookmark. Like, come on, it is a thing.
I was reading down this article and I noticed there's it talk about like people on the cheaters Reddit or whatever complaining that they didn't cheat in like real games. They just installed a cheat to do like practice games and they got their account banned and they were whining about it. And I'm like, you literally just admitted to installing a cheat. And you're mad that you got banned, even though you weren't playing a public match. It's the same thing. They don't want it on their software.
Yeah.
Period.
Same thing with the kid who got whatever, that pro that was on Fortnite or whatever a while back. The FaZe kid.
Yeah.
Oh, well, whatever. I was just practicing or whatever. It's like,
you're literally a professional Fortnite player. Why are you?
What the fuck are you doing?
What are you doing? Yeah, so stupid. Just really, really poor lack of judgment. Just bad.
But in actual news about the game, a lot of big updates. I couldn't link those as well. I'm gonna briefly go through them, but a lot of big updates for balance wise. This is their first big balance update since it came out. Weapon updates in general. They got rid of walking accuracy, which is because it was too prominent in that they were able to walking accuracy. What it was like, as you transition from running to full stop, you got a walking accuracy bonus that allowed you to kind of like one tap almost, and that's why a lot of times like we die, be like, that motherfucker was still running. Like, I mean, like it so they kind of like got rid of that from it, that transition walking accuracy from running to full stop. But now they have a dead zone accuracy buff to kind of compensate it, but it's just kind of like a tweak in gameplay. Rifle updates. Vandal recoil has been reduced. They've made it viable a lot more for those people that kind of do tap and burst fire for a lot of these things, before like the spray gets too out of control. So they wanted to give both play styles a little bit more of an effectiveness. But Vandal recoil reduced, which Vandal was a one-tap weapon in my efficiency as well. But they all these guns, they're kind of more the one-tap efficiency is where they're going. The Phantom also adjusted its gun recovery time down and tap efficiency up. Bulldog, Guardian, all of these the same thing. Biggest thing is that they buffed machine guns. 110%. Judge didn't get touched at all. No shotguns have been touched in the gameplay balance. All the rifles did. Vandal, Phantom, Bulldog, Guardian. All of them, pretty much the gun recovery time got adjusted and the tap efficiency got adjusted so that way they could one tap effectively. But machine guns, the LMGs, are the biggest things that got tweaked. Mainly the Ares, hugely. But both of them, they realized they're not being bought. They're not being used in the game. So they kind of buffed them. They reduced the price on the Ares. Both guns, the Ares and the Odin, the LMGs, they wanted to make it, they're a gun. For those of you guys that haven't played, they are a gun that is not a one-tap gun. They are supposed to kind of benefit from not the spray and pray, but the longer fire period. So the firing error, which, is something like how accurate it is off the get-go, it starts at a certain point, but it has reduced down for all of the machine guns, especially the Ares, down a lot quicker. So how far it's, for lack of a better term, it's almost like bullet spread, bullet bloom, has been reduced on these guns as you fire them more. Bullet 1 on an Ares from 1 degree spray has been to 0.8, bullet 5 from 0.8 to 0.75, like that kind of thing, without getting into numbers. But essentially, they've reduced the spread as you fire more guns, and they've reduced the credits that way to make them kind of more viable, but it still fits their play style, which is if you're a person who full autos like a team or whatever, if that's what you want to do, these guns are viable for you and perform better now at their price point. Agent updates is the other huge thing. Sage and Cypher, very OP right now in terms of, or were, in terms of their holding capability. Sage's slow orb has been reduced from 9 to 7 seconds. And duration-wise, how long it's on the ground, the ice shit that goes on the ground, that's what we're talking about. And also the movement decrease has been reduced from 65% to 50. So you only move at half speed now. So they still want her to be the main controller of a lane in those scenarios, but she was way too strong, so they have nerfed her back down somewhat. Cypher, his cage now no longer slows, for you guys that have not realized. It used to be that his cage that he threw out would denote people that were in it and also slow enemies. Now it no longer does that because it was giving him too much control along with his tripwires and that. And it increased his cooldown on the spy cam. Other people just very simply, just kind of minor buffs. Omen got an adjustment to his smoke. It flies faster and has a longer duration to kind of counter Brimstone. It's also like they upped the height. So I'm just reading through it and just adjusting what I'm talking about. They upped the height, kind of where you get damage on Brimstone, Phoenix, and Viper abilities. So that you can't B-hop through damage and not take it as much. So they adjusted it so you couldn't just stand on top of Brimstone's Incendiary Bomb and B-hop through it and not take damage. The other big thing is on top of map updates, they adjusted the credit cap. The credit cap, for all you guys who do not realize, is now 9,000 instead of 12,000, which is huge. And I think that's a great thing, which is because economy-wise, once a team was at 12,000 and they were holding there and they were winning, it was hard to come back because they could buy whatever they want in the game for 3 rounds. Even if they lost 1, 2, 3 rounds, there was just for the amount of it. So they were able to hold economy rich way too long. So now at 9,000 is the cap. So, and then a bunch of quality of life bug fixes. This is it's the 0.5 update, but it's the big update. It'll make sure you spend. Yeah, exactly. It'll make sure you spend more and save. I think this is the first big update that we had. This is the 0.5 update. These are all great changes that really, like, they've just been analyzing what works, what doesn't. And there's also minor map changes as well to adjust balancing for offensive, defensive capabilities, etc. Bug fixes, all that kind of good stuff. Like I said, and I can link that as well in the Discord if you guys would like to see. But unofficially, that's it. That is all the good stuff. Nobody posted anything in the Q&A. That's all the topics for this week.
We didn't talk to you guys anyway.
Exactly. Chat, anything we missed? Anything you want to talk about? Life?
I want to talk about Keanu Reeves' penis again.
Yes. How big is his penis going to be in Cyberpunk?
That's the topic I want to go back to.
Yeah, Ryan, you missed that.
Oh yeah, I don't think you were here for that, Ryan.
Yeah. I mean, we're actually on a good time because we kind of like went through it. It's just the two of us.
Is that really 5 years? 5-year birthday for Discord in 1 hour.
Hey, Discord.
Yay, Discord.
I remember when I just had to use, what was the one that started with a V? What was the old one that with WoW and that I used to always have to use?
There were so many.
I know.
There was Mumble.
Ventrilo.
There was TeamSpeak.
I had a Ventrilo server.
Ventrilo, Mumble, TeamSpeak, Raid Call.
I had TeamSpeak.
Skype.
Yeah.
We used all of them.
Yeah.
We've used all of them.
I haven't seen, so the last GTFO update was a couple weeks ago, right? We did talk about it a little bit. TeamSpeak, I used all those. Yeah. I don't think they've updated. I was talking to somebody else about it. I don't think they updated the thing since then. They're still on the first update of GTFO. Mammoth in chat. Jojo, do you mind if I step away for like 30 seconds?
No, go ahead.
Yay. I need my 30 seconds.
MSN chat was good. Those were the days.
Oh my god, what's happening? Wait, why can't I hear anything?
Oh my bad.
I was like, wait, what's going on? I was like, I can't hear anything.
I muted myself because I was eating Doritos.
Oh no, you're fine. I had to drain the vein for like the last hour, and I was just like trying to get through everything almost. And I'm just like, oh my
no,
god.
You're good.
Chip eating ASMR. No, but GTFO flip. I don't think we like. I don't know if we talked about it anymore, but I don't know that any other updates have come out about it since then. Of course, we all played together. Like me, Jojo, Flip, Disciple. We all played together. The most recent one that I saw. They've only had like the most recent dive or whatever is just the one that I saw. GTFO. Let me see.
We haven't played that in a while. Huh?
I know. It's just, I know we talked about it a couple times. Like I want to. It's just you have to set up GTFO.
Oh, you
know,
do.
It's
it
like
has to be an all-night thing.
You have to be 4 people
exactly
to just
4 people.
Yeah, be ready to go for all night long.
It is stressful, man. I want to try to get people together to do last year the Nightmare, because I have not played it since it was re-released on Steam, and they basically redid a lot of the game when they put it on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
Also, that one asymmetrical horror game, A Hide or Die. I don't know if you remember that. That was in Kickstarter. That was in Kickstarter. It came out on Steam. It hella flopped. It flopped so hard, they pulled it off of Steam and remade the entire game. And they re-released it, and it flopped even harder. So,
see, and I respect that though, at least that it flops. It's kind of like what Last Oasis did when it came out, and I respect that we talked about it. When Last Oasis first came out, they had those issues with the servers and all that, like what, day 2 or 3, and they took it down for like a week, and they were like, hey, we don't know exactly what the issue is, but we can't fix it while this game is up. We're sorry, like we're offering refunds and all that. And like I remember us talking about it on the show. I respect a company that does that. You know, it's like, hey, you know, we'll take it out, we're gonna make it better, you know.
Yeah,
like and you know, that's what Last Oasis it did. They took it down, they found what the problem was, and then they re-uploaded it, you know. Yeah, so for those of you guys, Ryan and everybody else who did not see, if Jojo didn't talk about it, Cyberpunk, you are going to be able to modify the size of your penis as well.
You can customize and combination your genitalia.
Which I think you'll be able to, like possibly the cyborg thing, like Jojo said. I feel like you may be able to have a hermaphroditic character.
I want a robot vagina.
I think you might be able to have both.
Vagina dentata in Cyberpunk.
Because the wording on the ESRB, which this is not an official thing from CD Projekt Red. This is going off of the wording on the ESRB rating for it.
Like what they got approved for.
Yeah, so the wording on it is, it says combination of genitalia is part of the reason that it's on M, along with everything else. You know, not only size all, but the combination of genitalia. So that to me feels like you could make cyborg
size, color, and combination, right?
Yeah,
size, color, and combination. So
Like that's gonna. I'm curious. Like I feel like there's either hermaphroditic, some cyborg. You could have boobs with a penis, or vice versa. You know, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see bloob with an acorn penis. So you're gonna. Oh, I was gonna say you're gonna make me, but I don't have boobs. You might be able to get a double penis. I don't know. Like, well, I'm curious now. Like, I want to know what exactly the combination thereof is talking about it. You know, you could be
I want
that
a penis on my boobs.
You could be like the, porn star's
Hydro
dream
penis.
and just hardcore be DP, just, out the gate, do you need two guys? Nah, I'm good. Yeah, I got
Show
you.
me your genitals.
Mhm.
Your genitals.
I'm hung like a rabbit vibrator. I have both little extensions. What can you make? Like, I'm very curious now.
I want little ant antenna
Yeah,
feelers
exactly.
as my
I
penis.
want the main shaft,
Pull
and then
my
I want
pants down and
another
you need
little
a
thing that just
microscope.
just a little thing that just goes like this.
All
Dude,
the gentials.
Could you imagine? Like, let's be honest though. If a lot of girls could decide what the male genitalia was like, that would probably you could redesign it, like make it work. Just saying. Add the little. There's a reason that shit sells. All right, that's all I'm saying. If it didn't work and it didn't sell, it wouldn't be a thing. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Hitachi also has made their money for a reason. It works, and that's what matters. But yeah. Unofficially, thank you, everybody. Thank you, or even like officially. Let's officially thank you, JoJo. Chat, all you guys for hanging out. Like I said, this week a little bit different than normal, just because we only had the two people and it was just one-on-one JoJo
You can't
time
have
with chat.
4 people with me. I would
Yeah,
outshine them.
it's too much to handle.
You
We'll
should have
have.
just put me in every one of those squares. Down
I
there.
could
Might
have.
been
I
a
could
better
have.
show.
I could have like put you instead of the side cam and everything. Just do that. Would have worked out. Yeah. Well, we would have had it done like the thing. Well, what was it like week 1 or no week 2 when Undercard left it and it was just your eyes in one and the other
It
two
was
were
my
both your
eyes in
boobs.
one, and then like my
Like,
one
yeah.
boob in the other.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I
Yeah.
could like move my head down and
Yeah.
change which box I was in.
Yeah. Because it like reset the Discord call. Could have
funny.
done that. But DQ, Drama Queen will definitely have back when everything works out there. Perfectly understandable for her missing this. So we'll have her back on a future talk show here. So no worries there. That being said, officially, thank you, like I said, to everybody, JoJo and chat, for you guys being the third one. Very attractive as always. JoJo,
I
of
was
course,
sneaking Doritos.
me, of course, Kdog57 gaming everywhere. I have that mantra everywhere. And same kind of thing. JoJo, where can everybody find you?
JOJOsaysbreee on everything.
There we go.
Literally everything.
There we go. Exactly. It works out if you have that on everything, guys. Branding advice. Just
It's
make
the
it
only
this.
reason I haven't rebranded, because
Yeah.
the JoJo on Mixer, I was told I could take because it's an inactive account, and I was just like, ooh, but I
See,
don't want
I
to have that and then on nothing else, right? So
I was told I couldn't take Kdog on mine. That was an inactive account. I've been in argument of that because I could actually rebrand on Twitter and all that as well. I've talked to the person that holds the Twitter account, and yeah.
oh,
But yeah, Mixer won't let me take it unless I already have the Twitter. But also, like, Twitter's like, I don't want to take the Twitter if I'm not able to get, like, because it
Right.
matches, like, it all matches. So
and you
anyways,
could always take the Twitter and then just contact them if you
yeah,
don't
it'd be
want
like,
it.
yeah, it'd be like, hey,
Give
yeah.
it back or whatever.
I know, but still. Just
Yeah.
gonna be like, I don't know. I like Kdog57. The only thing is, like, and a lot of people said, and I agree, like, having a number at the end doesn't help. It's one of the many things that doesn't help me as a content creator, because I like to make things hard. I could do a lot of different things in my content creation process that would make me make more money, but I like to be difficult. Jojo understands. Jojo understands a little bit. There's different things that a lot of us as content creators could do that, you know, some people, I don't want to say sell out. I don't want to like give it, because that has a negative connotation, but some people will do other stuff, and me, I just don't want to do that. You know, I have my own style and this and that, and I just, you know.
Yeah. Same. I'm not going to change anything that I do for numbers. So.
Yeah, it'll either work or it doesn't.
But I will cry about my numbers.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We will.
I'm not going to sell out for my numbers, but damn it if they're low.
Yeah, I will bitch about the fact that somebody who did sell out for their numbers is better than me. I will bitch about that, but I will not sell out myself. No, that's why one of the many reasons Jojo and I get along is one of the things that we joke about. You know, there's so many things, and you guys, you know, if you may or may not, if you're starting or just getting, or even been in the industry in a while, you guys may or may not realize that, you know, there are a lot of things that you can do, and you have to make that choice of what is your brand, what is it you want to be, you know. So I know I could be bigger. I'm sure Jojo also knows that she could also, you know, be bigger and do certain things, and it's just, you know. But at the end of the day, you have to, you know, I'm already waking up and miserable with myself. I could only imagine if I sold out how miserable I would be. I already do that on it. I already do that on a day-to-day basis with my work life. I already sold out to make more money.
I already kind of sold out, but I haven't followed through on it yet. I talked to Outtrumped. I was trying to get him to play Friday the 13th with me.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, oh, I have it. I just haven't played it. And I was like, play Friday the 13th with me. And he was like, well, what do I got to gain? And I was just like, okay, well, if you come play Friday the 13th with me, I'll play Fortnite with you. And he was like, deal. And I was like, fuck, I thought you were going to say no. So at some point, I have to do that.
Like, that's not selling. To me, that's just networking. Like, you know, whatever. Because I like, even like when I played like Modern Warfare with Invicta, like we've been talking or whatever, and like she doesn't play like Valorant. She's talking about it. But it's like, hey, and you just wanted to hang out and play together. It's like, hey, play fucking Modern Warfare, you know, just getting with your community. Hey, so... Wait, I don't know if I should ask this. Hold on, wait. I'm gonna message you because I don't know if I can ask this on stream. I'm gonna put it in our call here.
God.
Wait. Oh my, I don't guess. I follow on so many things, but I'm blanking right now. But I feel like that's a thing. Yeah. Okay. I was like, wait, I shouldn't say this because I don't want to like start anything and all that. So but I saw a lot of things, and I'm like, I don't know them enough to like.
Crisis averted.
Yeah, exactly. That's okay. I was like, I'm not gonna say this because I don't want to start anything. Cool story. Sorry. Hey, we're allowed to have our own conversation. Y'all over there in chat are whispering each other too.
This is all under NDA.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. Don't screenshot it, by the way. Don't screenshot anything right now. Hashtag partner joke. But yeah, that's the end of the official web show. I mean, we can still hang out and talk and all that, but unless chat has anything else they want to cover that we have covered, I'm gonna officially end the recording so that way I can upload it. Yeah. Anything else, guys? Yes, no, speak now, forever hold whatever you're holding.
We just missed something.
What did we miss?
Literally, like in the last couple of hours. At least that's what Twitter is telling me.
Oh, okay. I'm up for like I see.
Epic Games shows off live PlayStation 5 engine reveal.
Ooh, link that to me. Let's fucking do it.
It's trending on my Twitter.
Yeah, see, after about like Wednesdays at 3 p.m., I don't adjust what we talk about on the show, guys. That's why I always like go through like the previous week all the way up to Wednesday, because there may be like one or two things that. But normally stuff doesn't happen on Wednesdays.
I'm on the wrong Twitter. Hold on.
Stuff doesn't normally happen on Wednesdays. Normally it's Thursdays lately, and I don't know. I'm almost, since I'm out of work either way, I'm almost tempted to change the show to Thursdays, but it doesn't fit my work schedule when I do go back to work. But lately, a lot of stuff.
How do I send this? Oh, hold on. I'll just put it in Discord. There we go.
Put it wherever.
I was logged into the wrong Twitter account, so I had to just copy the link and then send it in Discord.
No worries. All right. Epic Games shows off live PlayStation 5 gameplay footage. Oh, hold on. I'm just gonna do one of these right here because I'm seeing this with you guys. Yeah, Epic Games showed off live PlayStation 5 gameplay footage. Gaming Giant unveiled its next generation game engine with a playable demo running on a PlayStation 5 Devo kit, as well as showcasing the photorealistic gameplay. Epic confirmed that Fortnite will be a launch title. How is Fortnite a launch title on... Like, are we really considering Fortnite a launch title? It's been out, like, that shouldn't... That should not be considered a launch title. Like, I'm sorry.
They just want to make sure their console has it,
Yeah,
basically.
I would say, like, that's, like... Oh, yeah, it's finally coming out of beta after 17 years. That's like PUBG still being... Like, I just... A launch title to me, and we talked about earlier with the Xbox 2020, like, it should be those games that are coming out with the... For the first time when that platform releases... Okay, either way.
The portal, it's open.
So wait, what game is this? Hold on, wait.
Don't fail me now.
Did it say what game this is?
I don't think it said. It looks really fun, though. It does not look like 4K 120 frames, though.
Yeah, I would say this looks like pre-rendered.
Yeah.
This looks like a cinematic to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's time to see what's next.
Although that being said, gameplay footage. See that, but how is that gameplay footage?
Oh, it's open.
That's a gameplay cinematic. Like there's. Okay.
Don't fail me now.
It still looks good. I'm just saying, calling this gameplay footage. How are you controlling this unless this is like?
There's no way this is actual gameplay.
Yeah, there's no way like.
How? What are the buttons?
I'm seeing like a quick time type of thing. Yeah, like I would say like in game. Yeah, it's like okay. But there's no way like okay. The only comparison because the closest thing to this right now, just watching it. Yeah, rendered in gameplay. I think that would be like the better thing. Like to me, it's like, but that's different to me than gameplay footage. I think it's a misrepresentation. Yeah, I think it's a slight misrepresentation of it, like rendered in the engine, which is fine. I just think to me, and this may be personal, like gameplay footage. Closest thing though, looking at that, I think Anthem. Escobar just said, I just read that. I think Anthem.
It definitely gives off Anthem vibes.
The flying, the this and that, like so. I could definitely. I'm not saying that it couldn't be a thing. That's what I'm feeling looking at it, is an Anthem vibe. I just hope that it does better than Anthem because man, I wanted Anthem to be great. It was great for 20 hours, ish. And then
I think a lot of people really wanted Anthem to be great.
It was so
people
fucking gorgeous.
Wanted Anthem to be so great that when it was bad, they were just hostile towards people that didn't play it.
Yeah, and it had such potential. It really did. Like it looked fucking gorgeous.
Really, for the demo, and it was really fun. Like the beta,
first 20 hours were great. First 15 to 20 hours were great. But even after though the 10-hour mark, the storyline started to kind of and everything else, and it was just, it almost felt like not really an unfinished game, but it definitely, it should have been more. And Anthem will be one of those testaments to a game that should have been more. But they need a rebranding, just like what is it, the PlayStation game that came out that we talked about a couple weeks ago that was shit, that is pretty much redone itself, has mechs now. You guys that have been in
Titanfall?
No, you guys that have been on the show.
Oh, that wasn't a PlayStation game.
universe expanding. Oh, Disciple, you were on the show when we talked about it. Fuck.
You're both blinking. It means it must be a fantastic game.
No, Jojo, you'll probably know what we're talking. So, huge controversy when it came out because it did not live up to expectations.
No Man's Sky?
No Man's Sky. Yes, I would say like huge. I say when I said like huge controversy when it came out.
Huge controversy.
Yeah.
No Man's Sky. Got it.
But that actually has had quite the rebranding, and now I want to play it. And
Oh, yeah.
everybody who's
when they basically did a complete relaunch of that game. They were like, okay, we're really fucking sorry. Here's a brand new game.
Yeah, pretty much. And now it's supposed to be fucking great.
Now it actually does what it was supposed to do on
At launch. Yeah.
That they promised. But I don't know. Like for me, like when a game disappoints me that heavily, and then like 2 years go by, and then they're like, by the way, we fixed it. I'm like, nah, you had your chance.
I get it. I 100%. I get that.
You had your chance.
But also, I give credit where, on both sides, I give credit just the same way that if a industry or a game developer just say, hey, we fucked up.
Exactly, Escobar. I always wanted to play it, but now I never will, probably. So
I want to play it, but it's one of those, I have so many games on the docket. And that's the thing. After 2 years go by, there's so many other games that have come out. It's like, where does this fit in on the list to do it? But I think Anthem is one of those that needs that relaunch. They just need to make like an Anthem 2. As bad as even though they like, I don't know that they lost money though on the first Anthem because a lot of people bought into it. But honestly, sooner rather than later, they need to probably make an Anthem 2. And just be like, own up to it and be like, hey, we fucked up. This is Anthem, exactly. Like as bad as it sounds, I feel like that's what they need to do because Anthem 1 had so much potential and it was great for what it was for about 15 hours.
It was just way too short.
It was way too short and it just didn't do whatever. So I think they just need to be like, hey, here's Anthem 2 where we fix all the shit that we did wrong. We're just like get rid of any DLCs or whatever. Because in this era, a lot of games have like 2 years worth of DLCs. Just be like, hey, we're not going to do DLCs. We're just going to make a better game. We're going to give you the game that we promised. Which I'm not saying that it even still will make money because just like me, I probably won't buy it out the gate unless it's on sale. Because... I already spent $60 and I was disappointed, so it's one of those, but they're going to have to prove themselves, but it definitely had potential to be a series, whatever the technical word is for it, a brand. It definitely had that potential. It was universally hated when it first came out. Sometime later they had an end game event, and in the game's universe relaunched the game and that's what I feel like. Anthem is one of those that needs to do that. Getting off topic a little bit from what we said, but that being said, new PlayStation 5 with Unreal 5 engine. It does look snazzy. I mean, I will say that. Still, like we said, and we have said for weeks. I'm waiting to see those PS5 specs, though. I'm really, really waiting to see what exactly they're bringing to the table. I'm curious. I want to see what's happening with PS5 because as it stands right now, I feel like they're underwhelming.
Wow. So I was just watching a video of my friend playing a scary game and she got shit on.
Oh, nice. Oh, there's one that actually I wanted to send to you. All right, well, we'll talk about this in a minute. So, chat and everybody remind me to cycle back. Anybody else officially for web show wise watch the video I sent you as a...
I linked it just in case you wanted to watch it.
Okay. Is it something that...
No, it's Renee playing Layers of Fear.
Okay, yeah, we'll watch that in a second. I'll bring it up.
Funny.
But anything else like web show wise, chat? Any other questions, anything like that for Kdog After Dark wise? We'll hang out here for a while longer, of course, as we always do. But for the YouTube video and the recaps and all that kind of stuff, and at one point when I finish getting my shit together and getting this all podcasted, finishing that all up, we always, like I said, Kdog 57 Gaming on everything. Jojo, as she said, JOJOsaysbreee with 3 E's on everything. Reminder there. That's really it, chat. Thank you everybody for hanging out tonight. Love you guys. I appreciate everybody being active. I know you guys always are, but of course, like tonight, you guys were just as much a part of the show as we were given the scenario. So, that's really it. Next week on the show, I have Rumored, I believe, if I recall correctly. Let me double check. Yep, Rumored XO. If you guys aren't familiar with Rumored, she's another friend of mine. Of course, pretty much everybody I have on the show is a friend of mine. So I don't know, me saying that probably doesn't mean anything anymore. But another friend of mine on the show, of course, next week, Rumored. She is going to be on the show, and then the week after is Took. So we will definitely talking about the couple things, that PlayStation event that we talked about earlier in the stream. We'll be talking about that next week because that comes out tomorrow, and a couple other fun things. So without further ado, we're going to end the official taping of the Kdog After Dark, and I will see you guys next week. So everybody say bye. Everybody in chat say bye, because you guys are actually all down there on the bottom as well. So say bye for the video. Spam by. There you go. There, bye. There we go.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Have a beautiful time.
Bye.
What is it? The waving at the end of Family Guy? Wait, with the development studio, the guy that does bye. Have a beautiful time.
Bye.
All right.